Wow. Good morning. Um, as you can see, I'm almost an hour late, 50 minutes late. Dang it. And what is it? Groggy too with my tie behind. I think I took a 2.5 milligram melatonin, um, and I just haven't been taking that in so long. Boom, put me out 10 hours. But yeah, it looks like I was out for sleep for 10 hours. But maybe like I said, maybe I needed it, and that's the reason behind it. But not sure. Now, I don't know. I had some thoughts about really trying to be a better gamer. Um, I think Cuphead. Well, a couple things. My daughter was watching Cuphead on YouTube Kids. Loving it, right? And so I put before I did the last format. If you follow my stream, I was like, at one point I had my computer all messed up, and I was like, I really need to reformat it, and I probably mess it up again. um, but I had Cuphead on there, and I was like, man, this is really hard. And then so last night I was like, well, let me try Cuphead again. And my daughter saw, and she came and she was trying to play it for a while, and she struggled with it, and then she would have me do it. And I was like, this is kind of cool because she like really wants to play it, but it's a bit of a challenge, and it's a challenge for me too. But sometimes when she was ready to give up, then I would try it a little bit and manage to get it. Um, but I went and I read. There's like that I managed to find some gamer blog, and I read people writing articles about what you got to deal with if you're going to beat Cuphead. I learned a little bit, and I actually it's like it wasn't instant death, but yeah, I played Cuphead for a little while, and with her, and then on my own until I got tired. But I'm gonna try to bring it back, and you know, it's like humiliation. I'm just gonna have to stand before the world in my embarrassmentalationalized nakedism until I can play some Cuphead. Right, so that's what it's got to be. Another thing is we were continuing with the history of the Jews on there, and I noticed that like I can listen to history while I'm playing Mech Arena because I've been playing it for enough hours that um, I can second naturalize things. Cannot do that on Cuphead, man, because that Cuphead slapped me upside my hard head. You ever been hit over the head with a cup? Oh my god. What did they keep saying? Oh, let's look over here. See, I need to pay attention to this because I can buy deathmatch tickets. Maybe I want that during the free for all. I think I'm just about ready to go. Um, Not sure what kind of. Well, yeah, I want to get. I was gonna say, like, I thought about going back in the history of the Jews. I think it was pretty. Um, yeah, everybody should read this on the whole world, especially kids, over and over again because it's a lot of very fundamental things about history, and I got it because I kind of read Josephus, but Josephus is pretty hard to read because it's I don't know. We had the industrial. I have a theory about it. Why we getting dumber and dumber, right? Uh, uh, is maybe the period of industrial revolution and leaded gasoline. The whole planet, everybody was just getting exposed to just toxic pollution. And then we got more stupid, and we could not focus our mind enough to read in the way that we used to, because Josephus would be translated, I guess, the William Whiston translation. I want to say it's about turn of the century, but the sentence structure, yeah, it's real long, complex, and it's hard to read it and get it. And the thing about History of the Jews of Heinrich Gretz is it's just very lucid. It's not flowery. It's just very easy to read, very clear. And I think people need to know, what you get with Gentiles of the Gentilicization of persuasion is all these cults of Christianity. It's like 25,000 different ones and stuff. And they all stick all they books on the end of the Bible and say that's part of the Bible, right? They take the Bible and then they stick all whatever they think they want to add to it. And even the Book of Mormon does that. So it's even worse for Mormons, right? Because they stick all the stuff other people stuck on the end of the Bible, right? And all that's already big that people don't read it. And also they make the text too small because it's like people don't want to buy it, the book, because it's too heavy to carry back from the stove. And then so they like, I'll make it a pocketbook of the Bible, right? You can't read that. It's like little microscopizationalized of the text, which you can't read it. It's too small. You need good, big, clean text. But you see, this phenomena of making the book like that is what I find, and this happens with my wife. She knows, she got stuff about the Christian book of Revelation and the book of Genesis, maybe a little bit of Exodus, absolutely nothing else. Not even, she told me, I said, here go the Gospel of Mark. You can get some good Jewish stuff out of that. It's very Jewelationalism. You can learn about Jews from it somewhat. But she's like, man, that is too long. Too long, right? And you want to tell somebody is like, the Gospel of Mark is too long. You want to hand them the Bible of Mormons. They ain't never gonna read it. They are not gonna read it. So the thing that's detrimentalizationalism about that is for people that get into a religious group and they say this is all the history you need, is they don't get no history at all. Because folks, look, you can jump on up and down and get mad on me and stuff like that, but that the book of Genesis is allegory. We really don't know that far back in history what happened, and if you take that real seriously, man, you're really closing yourself down to the realities of plain vision in front of your eyeballs, right? So if all you read is the book of Revelation for history, you read the book of Genesis and the book of Revelation, and that's just so long that you're like, I can't read anything else, man. You are poverty-positionalism, poverty of intellectualization. I'm sorry, I'm real tired. So the thing, and I'm stupid as anybody, and I'm going to get on Macarena. I have attention deficit disorder. I know I'm late. But this Heinrich Graetz, I didn't read it, and I grew up in a mixed household, and my very knowledgeable Jewish, my sister's husband played kind of a father role for me. He was around, he was coming out of a situation where it was not, you had to ask yourself as a Jew to even practice religion at all. You're putting yourself at risk, right? You're already a target by this hostile Catholic and Orthodoxy movement, right? You're already targeted, right? When you start talking about, what the Jews think, and talking about it in a religious way, you're even in more trouble. And some Jews are just like, well, look, I'll just not be religious. How about that? It's actually better. I'm better off, And the Romantic period offered that, and that's why you get, people are shot, but there's Jews that were in the German army all the way up toward the end of the war, and were not, deported or whatever till the very end. And there were generals that were like, I can't see any. They're like, this is stupid. We got perfectly good Jewish soldiers that are wearing an Iron Cross, and you're talking about they're inferior. They're some of the best men that I've got, and you tell me I got to put them on a firing squad? That's stupid, right? But a lot of people they weren't no Jewish Nazis. Well, yeah, there were, and there were those that acted like they were. Noam Chomsky, for example, gets angry about, he never really gets mad, but he does sort of get miffed, but he talks about how people were not into foreign entanglements when World War I was coming up, and they had to get the sentiment to change. They had to inflame the American public with propaganda. And the interesting thing about it is, if you look on my stream, I've got some guy that's wearing a German helmet up here. He's actually Jewish. He came out of Austria, and he was a deserter of the German army in the I guess around the lead up or in the beginning of World War One. He took it on the lam or whatever, but he presented himself as being, the German of Germanic, the ultimate. He's like, you need me to act in your movies because I can really show people what Germans are really, really like, German soldiers, right? So everybody loved to hate him, right? But actually, he was Jewish. But he was in the German army and fled. He was a deserter. And then when he got to the United States, he presented himself as Austrian nobility and became a big film director and went down in history, just really, really famous guy. His name was Erich von Stroheim. His stage now or whatever. And down the road, people were like, there were people that were from Austria, and they were like, he was from Austrian nobility, man. He speaks Austrian like some kind of gutter snipe. And he would say, well, it's because I've forgotten my mother tongue. Yeah, but I'm not only that, but yeah, you had Jews that were just like, we're just trying to live, right? But then there were Jews that were trying to make it big or whatever, and they would be in the military and they would be involved in all this stuff. And we had Jews that were in the Wehrmacht in World War II all the way up. There's a lot of articles about it. I'm interested in reading about it. But back to this book, the thing that I think that's so great is, to me, it's very easy to read, right? Very clear and stuff. But don't try to learn how to play Cuphead reading it. Because, okay, when I was playing it on the stream, where were we? Well, in the last couple of streams, we was on the end of Jesus' career, and some stuff about we passed the recall of Pilate, and this is the thing, we from the ancient history, we, as far as what we know of Pilate, right, there's some interesting things. Josephus talks about corrupt government officials and the imperial policy towards them, Tiberius's policy. And I just have to say this, I'm sorry. So the emperor was reputed to have said why he did not ever recall somebody. He's like, okay, look, there was a guy, he was walking down the street, and he saw this sick man, and the flies were just covering his body, sucking out the blood and everything like that. And the guy was like, oh my God, this is so pathetic. Look at this guy. I'm going to go and I'm going to try to kill some of these flies, sucking the man's blood. Now you can, if you search Tiberius on the full text of Josephus, you'll be able to find this because you can, Tiberius is brief enough where it's only, his name appears during that period, so you can search down and find this. Tiberius is reputed by Josephus to say, I never recall corrupt government officials from the Roman provinces. And this is why. He said there's a guy, he's walking down the street, sees somebody covered with flies sucking his blood, and he's like, oh, it's so pathetic. I want to get these terrible flies off of these poor running sores, on this man's body. And when he tried to do it, the man says, stop. And the guy says to him, why? I'm trying to help you get these filthy vermin from sucking your blood. And the guy goes, look, these flies that are on me now, man, they've been sucking my blood, and they're full, right? They're full of it, and they're hurting me less. If you kill them, the new flies are going to come. They're going to be hungry, man. They're going to tear me up. Please don't kill my flies, Really says that, right? So it's something, and there's a lot of historical criterion about whether you for whether you take something that's written under certain circumstances as serious history or not. Josephus was a Jewish prisoner, right? He was captured fleeing a mass suicide. He was in military a role like in charge of a fortress called Jotapata when the Roman legions built up a ramp, and they eventually caught it. They had to run. They had escape tunnels. They got out. Then when the Romans were closing in on them, they said, we're going to draw lots and kill each other, right? So the Romans don't get us, because they were maniacs with zealotry back then. And rather than go back into captivity and slavery and serve a foreign god, right? We'd rather die, right? And then Josephus, he's a traitor by Jewish standards, you know. But to me, it's part of his voice that he's like, I don't want to get killed up in here, and I want to live for a little while, you know. I don't want to just die really stupid like. And a lot of people are like that. And I think, you know, it's worth it if that's all we have from that period to read what he said. So for him, talking about an emperor explaining why, he's on thin ice, right? Because he's talking to a Roman audience, right? So you see stuff like that, and you're like, you know, here's an emperor justifying bad government, right? And he's like, I know they're out there like vermin swarming and sucking all the blood out, but they also get fat with it, and that it slows down how much rapine they engage in and stuff. And so he hesitates to recall somebody. Now, what is the point of this? The point is in the Gospels, it's like Pilate is so nice, and he's like, I really, really don't want to crucify this poor Jesus, you know, for sedition and claiming to be the king of the Jews and having a smart mouth and stuff like that. That's really not, there's nothing in recorded history from the time to indicate that Pontius Pilate was like that at all. In fact, there's a lot indicating that he would do stupid things and there would be riots, right? And the whole country would be up in arms, right, because of stupid things that were going on, that he was told he wasn't supposed to be doing that, right? We have historical record, particularly all the stuff in Josephus where he explains why these riots happened and how Pilate was like, well, let me hide soldiers. He would dress them up with knives. You know, they hide a knife in their cloak, and he'd spread them out all through a big crowd, and then he'd do something to kind of flush out the people that were resistors or whatever, and the soldiers that are hidden through the crowd would just knife people everywhere, you know, just really ruthless. You know, let's find out, who are these agitators, right? You know, you get down there in the crowd, you hear somebody make a noise, you know, just stab them, you know. He's very ruthless. And in particular, there's like some kind of rampart or something, and there's one story about the Passover was coming, and a Roman centurion pulled down his pants and hung his behind out over the crowd. You know, Passover was about, and he mooned the crowd or whatever. It's really there, and a whole riot happened. Right, it was like, and another thing was bringing the Roman standards, which are their images, they're graven images, Roman imperial standards or whatever. Like Jews back then, they were like, no, you don't not make a graven image and hold it up like it's to receive honor or something like that. We can't tolerate that, and there's a huge riot. So then, yeah, history records that Pilate was recalled. Right. So in spite of the fact that Tiberius said, I never recall, in the history that we have recorded or whatever, it's like, even if they are corrupt, right? Because, and here's why. And he makes this allegorical story of flies that are vermin that are so full up with blood that they can't drink blood as fast. And so you just leave them alone, and that makes it. And the province is portrayed as a man covered with, sores and wounds, lying on the side of the road. Very, very powerful image. And it could, that kind of thing. And for me, what happens, and I know I shouldn't do, I'm not a professional historian, but I don't want to just totally fly blind. What my whole brain gonna be full up with Mickey D's commercials and nothing else up in there? Chick-fil-A nuggets flying through my cerebrum for the whole rest of my life and not know a damn thing. Taco smell, order of flies, diet choke, big slack. No, I sort of want to see where I have been so I can see where I'm going, right? So in any event, my point was, and I'm kind of doing an ADD demo, but that we went through the Ricola pilot, and then about another 100 years of stuff, 120 or something, to the Bar Kokhba revolt, because Jesus said, "This generation shall not pass before you see the Son of Man coming in glory to judge the world, and the end of the world is at hand," or whatever like that. But it did not actually happen. In fact, 3 generations or so passed, and they was still flourishing. Jewish culture was still, they were still resisting, and they were still flourishing, and they had what was called the Bar Kokhba revolt, and we passed that. And then I was going, like I said, I started a little bit of the text while we were doing Cuphead, and I was like, well, I really can't. I'm not at that, and to me that's a measure of your gaming capability, because I remember being on Tail Gunner or Space Invaders, and y'all, man, probably people watching this has not been born when that stuff was out, and we were so used to playing it, that we would just sit there and carry on conversations while it was going on, which is good, because otherwise you never get to talk to people because you're playing doom 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 doom, Space Invaders or whatever, and and you just got nothing in your brain, and your life goes by, it's over, and you don't know nothing, right? And then your whole, your children, man, think about it. You're gonna have, if you don't have kids now, you might have a kid, and man, we're tearing this world up, and they ain't gonna have nothing. It's gonna be mayhem breaking out. So, and that's kind of like, if you go back to the Bible, it's like Nineveh, Jonah gets called by God to go. He's like, these Ninevites, they need to repent, right? Or I'm going to strike them and destroy them. And Jonah don't want to do it, and so he tries to run away, and he gets swallowed by a fish. They throw him overboard. He's like, the Lord hits the boat with the storm. He's like, it's my fault, because God told me I was supposed to go to Nineveh and tell them to repent, and I ran away. And they were like, well, you're going overboard now, man. And so we're just going to check out if that's right. And they threw him overboard, and the storm calmed, but a fish swallows him, right, throws him up on the beach, and he goes back. And that may be just a poem, an allegory or something like that. 3 days in the belly of the fish or whatever. I don't think anybody could survive that. But the point of it is, and people don't read this book, and if you haven't read it, don't feel ashamed, because most people don't. It's not that long. But a thing that in my household that was always pointed out is that when Jonah went through all that, and then he goes to Nineveh and he preaches and he says, y'all are doing evil, wrong things. You got to stop it or God's going to strike you. That they all did. They were like, what? Oh my goodness, we're going to be struck down. And they threw ashes on their faces and rent their garments. And the king too, they all got down on their knees and begged for forgiveness, and apparently stopped doing stuff that they were doing. And then God did not strike them. And Jonah was mad. It's like, I just strike him. Made me look dumb. What you doing? But I don't know if he said that. But it's something to think about. Like we could, as a people now, as like Noam Chomsky says, in his interviews now, he's 90 something, man. Is he 95? I don't know how old he is right now, but he's sort of like, and some Jews get mad at me if I say he's like a prophet. I say, because he's anti-Israel. I don't think. Dave Horowitz says, he's anti-Israel and stuff like that. I think he's anti-mean and dumb things, right? Because any country, and this is what he's, and it's just, it's a point. He's like talking about legitimacy of a state. He's like, okay, here's an example how they propagandize against him. Is he's like, a state, a nation, is a violent institution. So how do you talk about legitimate? There are no legitimate states, right? When states are established, they're established by force and violence, and we can't talk about, and he's like, that's not legitimate, right? That should not be, right? And so people say, oh, well, he says Israel's not legitimate. Well, he's, you could say he said that, but he said the United States is not legitimate, right? He would say things like, well, if you're in the United States and you're saying we've got to boycott Israel and stuff like that, he's like, you're really giving the hardliners over there ammunition, because if you're saying that, how come you're not giving California and Arizona and New Mexico and Texas back to Mexico? Yeah, and letting all the people, because first of all, they tried to, the reason we have all that territory is because the run up to the Civil War, they were trying to add a state to the Union as a slave state to tip the political balance in the favor of slavery, right? It was not good what they were up to. And all the black people that had escaped slavery into Mexico, which had abolished slavery, they hunted them down and killed all those people. Right? And they took all that territory, and after a while, they was looking around, there was like, it's still a bunch of Indians and Mexicans and stuff out here. We need to have the Mexican expatriation. This ain't your country anymore. We're going to expel you down. But it's a big area. To police a big area like that, they can't do it, And so there's always been Native American and mixed mestizo and Mexicans have always stayed there, and now they're coming back. They was in the roots of the soil, So you're going to say, boycott Israel and give back all the territory to the quote-unquote Palestinians. Some people might say, we need to check the Palestinians' DNA and see they're probably descended from Jews, right? And because Jews screwed things up back in the ancient times, Rome changed the name of the country to Palestine and said, your country is canceled. They did the same thing to Greece, but Greece came back, but Greece is still in bad shape. And I think historically, we all have to look at our past to make decisions about what we're going to do in our future. So, okay, back to the text I'm going to be on today. I think we're in about the 3rd century, and we're talking about the legal system or whatever that was going on, and it's a little bit dry, but it's still good. I sort of want to go over it again because I was distracted by it, but I'm not at this time. I do this thing, and I want to give to anybody who's got ADHD this advice. Something to try is what you don't, if you have ADHD, you don't want to get angry when you lose, when your mind wanders over stuff and you're not getting the text that you're reading, right? Don't panic about it, because I get, like my brother, he'll pull his hair and say, I've got this. I can tell. I read something and that made me think about something else, and then I turned 3 pages before I realized I was in a totally different place and I didn't see that. Well, what I have done is to survive in college, and one guy told me, he said, that was the worst advice I ever heard in my life. Another ADHD person, he said. But I said, well, what I did is I just read it over and over again. And I read the text, and I read the text, and I read the text of the assignment, and I keep reading it over and over again. And there's a point where no matter how much my mind wandered, I would get to the end of the text and feel like I got everything. I really got the whole thing, right? And the other guy was like, you can't function that way. You need to medicate. Well, I don't know if that's true or not. I think the position that I would take is that by getting angry and frustrated, you actually cause damage to the dendrites of the prefrontal cortex. You activate the adrenal complex in the brain. It really starves your higher intellectual thinking machinery for oxygen. Got to stop that first. And that actually I have found over time that I know a lot of material long term a lot better than other people do that manage to get, they cram, they do real well on the test or whatever like that, but at the end of the year when they grad, they don't know any of that stuff and they don't want to talk about it, they hate it, right? Whereas I'm like, I have, in my method, not only have I got it, but I've got it well enough that I can down through the course of my life, I can compare and contrast it with other stuff that I've read. So I'm going to get started here. Hell. So I was about ready to change the music. Let's see. Yeah, so I was going to go to this. Well, I'm gonna get crazy here. Well, maybe not. I'm not sure where my head is coming. Which is a model of the style of that period. It's for the most part Hebrew embellished by play upon 539 words. The Greek proper names are translated into approximately Hebrew terms. It's not the manner of skill, in next to Hebrew tongue with an analytical term. But it usually degenerates into empty talk and trifling, which was already an average of 8% of the By reason of extensive appliance and analysis of well, hey man, hungry? You hungry? I'm sorry, dude. I'm hungry. Oh, he's a little bit. Are you a kid or something? I'm getting nervous. I'm sorry. I felt like that was maybe a little kid. Poor little guy. It's pretty hard. This is the squad dropper here. See, he's got this taser. I can't even get away from it. See, what I'm trying to do is draw him out into the fire of somebody. I want him to want to come after me. But he's got that taser. See, I need him to get gone, but I also need him to die. And he's coming back. See, he's already back. And let's see if he's on an Aries. Oh, you mad? I'm sorry. Oh, man, that hurt. Oh, I was got by behind by Rock Amadeus. You little disco boy. With your disco behind self. Hey man, I want to talk to you. Hey, can I have a case quarter? Poor guy. Oh, that's nice, Hungry. Look, he learned how to give me that thumbs up. Hey boy, hey, come over here. I got you with my weakest neck. And with the freeze rays on me at the same time. See, you got that thing all jacked up, killing everybody, because you put your mama change on her. Even in her pocketbook, got her debit card. Ooh. Stole my look. Pentecaka.
She told me that her husband was a prisoner and that there was nothing left for her to do in order to procure his release but to sacrifice her honor. As soon as I heard this, continued Pentecaka, I sold my bed, my coverlet, everything that I had in the world, gave the proceeds to the woman, and said to her, "Go, free thy husband without paying price of sin." At these words Avenue could not contain herself, and explained to Pentecaka, "That negative sublime virtue and all that dishonor, thou alone art worthy to pray for us in our trouble." The theater of this period participated in the general moral tone of the times, and was by no means a nursery of cultural refinement. The homes devoted the crowd, and to which was often made under contribution to furnish a subject for their worst jokes. Avenue, who was acquainted with events which occurred outside the Jewish world, complained of the frivolous manner in which Jewish institutions were the family was brought into the theater in morning travels.
Wow, this text is really heavy. This is a great book.
Because the Jews, who stood in service about a year, and not even get oats to eat, and are obliged to live upon it. The family mourns because its food is snatched away. Enter noise for the game of his head shake.
Man, it's good to see you, buddy. How you doing this morning up here? Fade out. Man, I'm glad.
Not even good enough remains for them to take their food. They must, therefore, burn their bed, and being without a bed, must sleep upon the ground and wallow in dust. In order to avoid uncleanliness, they use a great deal of oil, and that is by 43 reasons that oil is so bitter. Thus had the general Greeks constituted the art of Aristophanes. Avenue also possessed a certain reputation in the study of the law, but did not lend us an authority. His province was the advocate of Jesus. By reason, however, of his influence in the political world, his colleagues flattered him just as daring to correct him when he committed errors in teaching. It appears that Syria, where a college elder had formerly established a temporary school, was now elevated by Avenue to a post Tiberias as an academical city, where the greatest Amora of Palestine assembled. The synagogue in Syria, when it was received under Nero the first new to independence to a Jewish state, was perhaps Avenue's own, and it appears to have still been
You are so annoying.
in the same way as Simon Barado was accustomed to misfortune. Avenue was attended by good luck, which did not escape him even in old age. The latter was sent by him to
That's what I want. Oh, here he comes. See, I didn't get my coins, and he wanted to wear an art tie.
Avenue was the last important personage of Jed during how medieval times. For 15 successive centuries it had given birth to intellectual giants, sobering, teachers of law. It now ceased to produce, and brought forth no new celebrity. Says the legend. On the contrary, the lively ardent activity begun by Adam and Sam. During the half-century over which their labors had extended, the study of the law had taken place. And to regulate their life by the standard, possessed all classes of society. For the time of highest honor to be recognized as a master of the laws or new humanity, and the greatest disgrace to the
Melted.
Babylonia had become a regular Jewish state, whose constitution was the Mishnah, and whose public laws were the Princess of Captivity and the School Assembly.
Somebody killing me from behind. Oh. Love me a free for all.
It was further to the utmost of 545 amplifying their power by the successors of Rab and Samuel, of whom the most prominent were Judah, who was the chief teacher of the Surah, and at the same time rebelled as religious head both in Babylon and Haran. Judah then Ezekiel, who founded a new strength in Bethel, and introduced a new method of studying the Talmud. Now Jacob, who transferred his academy to Shimzi Marketplace, after the destruction of Mohammed the King. And finally Chasta, Shephet, and Rabba Bar. Almost all of these Amorah possessed their own peculiar tendencies, and such variety and diversity were introduced into the narrative of the Babylonian schools. Judah was born about 212 at Diopart, and died in 297. He was Rab's successor in Surah, and the authority of his period, to whom, as already narrated, the Amorah voluntarily subordinated themselves. The story of his life presents at once a perfect picture of the manners of his period, and shows how indefatigable he overall went hand in hand with secular occupations, with agriculture and other industries. Although related to the prince of captivity, Judah was not originally wealthy. He cultivated his small field with his own hands, and was not ashamed of his labor. He used to remark to his visitors, who came to him to judge their differences, "Bring me a man to till my ground if I will be your judge." Often he returned home from the field with his weight upon his shoulder. He was once perceived in this condition by Talmud, a known richest, and at the same time the most charitable and generous man in Babylonia. This liberal man almost realized the ideal and exercise of the Jewish virtue of being a father to the poor. Bread was baked day and night in his house for the relief of the poor. Doors were placed on all sides, so that all who were needy might enter, and he who came hungry and defied only took the house without to satisfy. When trauma went out, he held his hand continually in his purse, so as not to be obliged to see those who felt ashamed to ask for charity in a painful situation while he was searching for his money. At the time of the famine, he caused wheat and barley to be left about at night for such persons as were prevented by their sense of honor from mixing with beggars. Trauma was certain to take a large share of the burden upon his own shoulders. This beneficent person possessed so much modesty, notwithstanding his extraordinary wealth, that whenever he met him returning from his labor, with his weight upon his shoulder, he begged to be allowed to carry it for him, out of reverence for the principal of the school. He had, however, never permitted him to do this. "Thou art not accustomed to do such a thing in thine own town, therefore will I not allow it here." Later on he grew rich, and had fields cultivated by laborers, who received a portion of the crops. His hat raised on the steps of South Babylonia. He employed his wealth in the most noble manner. On stormy days, when the winds would blow from the streams that would devastate the country and cover the city with ruins, he used to go about in a litter, in order to inspect the houses in Surah, and pull down any walls which might be in the fallen condition. If the proprietors were not in a position to build their house up again, Una would have it done at his own expense. During the hours on meals, all the doors in his house were left open, and it was announced in a loud voice that all who were needy might enter and be satisfied. Other tales are related of his eager and assiduous charity. The indigent scholars who attended his school, which was situated in the neighborhood of Surah, were maintained at his expense during the 547 months of study, although their numbers were anything but small. 800 attended his lectures, and there were 13 expositors placed in different parts of the building, whose duty it was to make the discourse audible and intelligible to the whole assembly. The profound reverence with which his noble character, his erudition, and his modesty inspired his friends, was nevertheless incapable of blinding them to his faults, however small they were. The teachers of the law were extremely severe with regard to one another's conduct, and were unrelenting towards any of their number who did not come up to the ideal of the law. It was during the time of King Public life in Babylonia, which was the most intimate connection with the schools, became organized in a manner that was unchanged for almost 8 centuries. Gradually and involuntarily there was formed a hierarchy of principal and subordinate dignitaries. The school, which met, as already mentioned, during certain months of the year, was called the Retida Session, and the principal member of this assembly was known as the Retida Director. Next in rank to the president came the Retida Professors, whose duty consisted in elucidating during the first 3 years. The judicial offices were separated from the professorships. As justice was still meted out, according to ancient custom, before the gates of the city, the judges were called, by reason of the circumstance, the Judge and Bar judges of the city. In matters of theory they were subordinate to the princes. They were appointed by the prince of the captivity, on whom they were dependent in matters of practice. For 4 years he never presided over the Retida, 548, and by reason of his undisputed authority, Babylonia became completely independent of China. Then he acted upon the principle which was Master Rab had been to carry through, and placed Babylonia on a footing of equality as part of the law. He thus broke the last tie that united the land of captivity to the mother country, or perhaps it would be more accurate to say that he merely gave it to the or in case it was desired to obtain a solemn sanction of independence, was it able in Babylonia to obtain a decision from the Holy Land. During the period over which Queen of Labor was sent, the storm had also been when over 80 years of age, leading the same whose virtues he was set out. Highest honor to engage his divinity was descend upon him. His fortune was carried to China, probably in execution of his dying day. There it was met by the most distinguished men, such a master man.
Oh, I'm mad now. No, I'm not. That's all right. Y'all doing right. You need to get that dang control point. But man, you got too many people on my behind. I'm annoyance. Good job. Schwab. Someone's always Schwab. Just go ahead and kill me. See, can you kill me? Satisfied with 1 hit point. See. You're not long. Ooh, man. See, that's that Aries. I think I had an Aries and I hit my dang shield. Reflex. He possessed a strongly marked personality and was highly talented, but at the same time had so many names and that he was continually coming into collision with persons and circumstances. Better get on. Hot Nelly. See Hot Nelly and her behind over here. She's bold and she gone. I had to upgrade that thermal lance a little bit, I think. Wow. Wasted. That's right. Bomb. You're a bomb, all right. Come over here and bomb some more. I need to change teams. My God, these guys, what are they doing down here?
But he still retained the position of disciple with regard to the former, and gave young assistant in practice. It was not until Judah's death that he was appointed principal of the college. He held his office for 10 years and died in
They'll run you behind. I'm coming. Yeah. Stay close to the building. Me too, man.
self-reliance of the Babylonian Jews, which was founded upon their prosperity, their independence, and the certainty of a livelihood. He was the son-in-law of the prince of the captivity, whose daughter, Yalta, he had married 555 after the death of her first husband, and he possessed the full pride, ostentation, and arrogance characteristic of the princely house. Like any Oriental prince, he was attended by eunuchs, ready at a moment's notice to make their masters exalted appreciate. He had been appointed chief judge by his father-in-law, and was so proud of his dignity, that when his always attempted to place himself on equality with him, he forcibly reminded him that he alone was competent to act as judge. He did not hesitate to decide many cases without the assistance of his colleagues, although it was considered an arrogant act to sit in judgment alone. His character was devoid of gentleness and humanity. Once when the slaves of the Russian were forcibly dispossessed and holding up some of the materials, in order to prevent attack from further, he was held by the lads who were no arrest for this violation of the law. The princess of captivity and his daughters, said she, are sitting in a stolen tabernacle. Now, however, scarcely listened to her. Whereupon she pointedly exclaimed, I am the daughter of a man Abraham who possessed 318 slaves, and not even on a very correct claim. To this remark Nathan returned a harsh answer, and finally decreed that at most she was only entitled to compensation for the stolen materials. He was even less considerate in his treatment of the slaves, whose sense of human dignity outraged in a manner revolting to morality. His female slaves were not permitted to contract any lasting union, but were given in turn to different men, whom in such changes were considered to afford a better chance of contract. And this he was entirely unlike his master, his men had no slaves and lawful by God for life. I could be treated by Nathan with a furiousness and slave. His wife, Yelena, the daughter of the prince of the captivity, had, contrary to custom, married her child after her first husband to the custody of a nurse, so as to be able to marry Nathan. She even exceeded her husband in wealth, and possessed all the wings of influence of a real and princess. She attracted conflict of the one man with whom her husband associated. And when, on one occasion, following how his steps, she insulted him on set purpose. He was in the habit of using physical violence and before he lost the truth. It was with reference to these 2 points that Yalta observed with him, travelers on Full Throttle, and that was it was just criticism that he used the origin of which affords some indication as to his intent morality and his theory. According to the principles of the old Jewish code, when a person was summoned before the court to answer for a debt, and insufficient evidence was forthcoming against him, he was only allowed to purge the charge by error, if he partially admitted the claim. If he repudiated altogether, no oath can be administered. This law was which rendered them incapable of the audacity of openly repudiating a just claim. But this simple honesty could no longer be assumed to exist. On the contrary, it had been supplanted by a certain wily cunning, which succeeded, by reason of the widespread knowledge of the law, in availing itself of the letter in order to evade the spirit. It was for this reason that Nathan, copying by experience, introduced the order for nations to do in those cases where the claim was totally
I
valid,
can't hear
and this
anything
decision
back
obtained the force of law 557 as has already been mentioned. Nathan emigrated from Normandy
Don't
after
shoot
his
him there.
and established himself in Naples, the inhabitants of which were notorious for their love of mockery. It is not a letter he again transferred to President Mahdia, after the city was restored. Connecting the terms of Babylon, of which 2 countries the former was slowly declining while the latter was gradually coming to the fore, was John Hosea, who was the highest authority in Judah in the following generation. The history of this man brings into prominence the opposition existing between the mother country and the Babylonian colony. He had been a pupil of King Jew, but was satisfied with the teaching employed of Babylon, and yearned for the simple method of Gomorrah, which attained him to brutality. He hesitated to take Babylon, however, in deference to Judah's dislike of emigration. When, at last, he stole away, so to speak, from his native country, his longing to behold the Holy Land was so irresistible that he ventured to cross the Jordan by a road, so as not to lose time in searching for a bridge. Christian who was witness of the traveler's feast, remarked reprovingly to Zimei, you Jews have not abandoned your old cult of persistence, which showed itself among you at Mount Sinai. Whereupon the latter rejoined, all that to delay a single moment.
I'm confused about that man. I need to work on that.
Our teachers arrived at Tiberias. Zia endeavored to forget the minute analysis which constituted the Babylonian method of teaching. The legend adds that he fasted for 40 days, in order to give way to his prayers, in which he entreated that the people Babylonian system might vanish entirely from his memory. Judd and his peculiar method, 558 on the other hand, seemed to him to be surrounded with a halo of glory, and the atmosphere of the Holy Land appeared to impregnate with wisdom. The characteristic tendency of Babylon, however, had gained so strong
Can't hit nothing back up there.
Even in Judd. However greatly he strove to acquire the simplicity of the Judden method, he never succeeded in entirely eradicating the influence of the Babylonian rational analysis, and it was on account of this very superiority which he himself failed to recognize, that he was held in high esteem by the Gomorrah of Judd. The dignity of teacher was conferred upon him in a very short time. His knowledge was so great, however, like King Saul, he hid himself, and only consented to be ordained when it was representative in government of him was attached thereto. In the Iconium was attended by the character sign of the European of the time, raising the name of the small, without brilliance, without glitter, but not without charm. He became one of the authorities of Judd, together with Adam, Ascii, and Abihu, all of whom he outraged. At his grave a poet recited an elegy, which shows better taste than most of the verses produced on similar occasions. It ran somewhat as follows. To him whom Rufus and her half born, the Holy Land of crown of wisdom lent. And sad Tiberius droops her head, to mourn for him who was her chiefest ornament. 559. Chapter SSI. The triumph of Christianity and its relations to Judaism. Hillel second his calendar. Heads of Judean schools, Jonah, Josie, and Jeremiah. The expansion of Christianity. Constantine. The decadence of the Jewish schools of Babylonia. The competitive school. Development of Talmudical dialectics. The Persian king adventures from Shadrach II he Emperor Julian. Building the temple. Roman tolerance. 320-375 CE. The period during which Christendom asserted its triumph in the decisive crisis in the history of nations, and closed also an epoch in Jewish history. The harvest of Tesla and instinctive dread of its approaching dissolution through the religion of Christ, submitted to baptism, thus prolonging its assigned length of existence by the space of a century and a half. Peterson, which was nourished by its in turn bred irrational ideas, deceit, and immorality, was obliged to surrender its life of chance, and make room for another form of religion. The new religion which thus pressed triumphantly to the fore, possessed innumerable advantages over Buddhism, in that it laid down theory as a fundamental principle, their conception of God and the world, although the first 560 very far from conforming in practice to these tenets. At the same time as Rome and Italy lost their importance and retained only a shadow of their former greatness, Judd and Tiberius, which had taken the place of Jerusalem, sank into insignificance. Finally, the seat of heathen civilization, Judd was involved unstunted by Christianity. By means of the political power to which this religion now attained, he possession of the imperial dignity facing the acts of Luther and the sword of the legions under its command of his pride of its intellectual life, and the school of Tiberius lost the power of attraction which he had so long exercised, and sank into steadiness. While Babylonia was raised during the next 50 years to the kingdom of Spain by the exertions of three original Amora, Rabba, Abaya, and Baba, the Judd and Amora of the stereo were of no importance. The few men of these times whose names have survived are Chekhov, who became an authority by reason of the Jews, Joseph II and Joseph, the disciples and successors of Antiochus. The still recognized authority of Topos Jeremiah. But he was an eminent from Babylon, there had been so good appreciated that he had been turned out of the schools. The office of patriarch also sent up his stereo to complete insignificance. Its holder, in all seconds, had the nation of his great grandfather as well, self-denying and resigned to force from his power. It is remarkable that at the same time as the patriarch of
Ooh, what is that you got? Man, you're annoying me. Good. Rid of that thing. Probably got something else splodged up with it. Thank you, Wheeze. Ooh, it's warming.
The Jews were likewise included in this act of toleration, and their patriarchs, synagogues enjoyed the same privileges as the Christian ecclesiastics and the heathen priests. These decisions continued in force, as the leaders were sanctioned by new laws, the newly founded Israelites. The rule was established that the members of the synagogue who dedicated themselves to the law, the
40,000 damage. Yeah, can't withstand it. Coming at you behind though.
and the Christian system of bishops, the patriarch of Topos regarded as the chief of all Jews in the Roman Empire. Constantine imposed justice, however, lasted but a short time. The more Christianity asserted its 562 influence over them, the more the Jews became as passionate about the issue of Judaism and its appearance as a leader. Bishop of Rome, Paul,
Thank you, Wheeze.
of Constantinople, the new capital, and
This is the guy I'm interested in.
did not fail to fight back against the Jews.
He gone? Oh, there he is. I need to have a word with you. Would you mind coming over here to me? I want to talk to you, sir. Please. Excuse me. Do you mind? Stop. Stop trying to... That was fun.
Zeal for morality and sound opinions. The art of the Alexandrian school was scientific erudition. L.L. advantaged. Dogmatical disputes, whether Christ the Son was equal to the Father, whether he resembled or differed from him, disputes all the more bitterly carried on because of the impossibility of settling the question either way. These were the points which henceforth constituted the foreground of the history of the church which was destined to represent the history of the world. At the Council of Nicaea, the last thread was snapped which connected Christianity with its parent stock. The festival of Easter had up till now been celebrated for the most part at the same time as the Jewish Passover, and indeed upon the days calculated and prescribed by Sanhedrin took for its celebration. But in future its observance was to be rendered altogether independent of the Jewish calendar, for it is unbecoming beyond measure that by 64 hours the holiness of festivals we should follow the customs of the Jews, and toward let us have nothing in common with this odious people. Our Savior the Jews were able to boast that we are not in a position to celebrate the Passover without the aid of their religious calculations. These remarks are attributed to the Emperor Constantine, and even noting none of another by him, they
Oh, man, it's about Passover. It's time for Pharaoh moan. Pharaoh's gonna be moaning. Let me get my weakest neck over here. Good. Y'all making me mad.
Whereas his father had only forbidden the admission of slaves into the Jewish community, and had simply punished the transgression of this prohibition by declaring for the also made so admitted, the Spontaneous Decree 339, that was the incision of the Christian slave entailed the pain of death and the entire loss of fortune. He even forbade the reception of heathen slaves into the clothing of Judaism. The grounds for this law were twofold. It was desired that Judaism should receive no increase through its adoption by slaves, and also that Christians should not serve Jewish masters, the assassins of God. 568. This preposterous view has been held by the Church ever since, and prevails even at the present day, although in another form. These restraints and rigors were by no means legal, for the Jews were still a people of the Roman Empire, and in the other inhabitants ought not to have been subject to any exceptional laws. But there were right and law to this emperor, who, as unscrupulous as he was weak, was swayed by the leaders and the ecclesiastics of the court. His conceit and caprices were law. Constance, or the ecclesiastics of his court, were the founders of the Christian state. The sufferings of the Jews became unbearable when Constance sent his cousin and co-emperor Alexander to operate against the ever-increasing power of the 351. Gallus, who was addicted to debauchery, abandoned the conduct of the war to his led Ursus. The latter, during 3 long years, were the more dire discussions of an imperial master. As the Roman kings reported in the city, Ursus enslaved the duty of the Jewish inhabitants to furnish the provisions necessary for their maintenance, and prosecuted his demands so inexorably that the Jewish communities were thereby driven to violate the laws of their religion. The Roman military officials demanded, for example, that the troops should be supplied with food for the laws and the use of the to authorities of Tiberius, flourishes in his army on the Sabbath. And the teachers of the a Golanite town, committed 11 bread to be baked for the legions during Passover. In their disgust at Titus and religious representatives quieted their consciences with the excuse, which they deluded themselves into believing, that the enemy did not expressly demand the transgression of the law, but simply required a regular supply of the army. But Ursus he burned the skull of the law which had been consecrated to the public use, and this act did not relate in any way to the service of the army. Among these were the supply of natural goods and cattle, the payment of the full tax of the city, and also regarded at the imperial court of Constantinople as simple atheists, by reason of their refusal to recognize Jesus. This view gave rise to the Law 357, that all Christians who join the blasphemous communities of the Jews should incur the punishment of the forfeiture of their possessions. The preachers of Constantius, Eusebius the Chamberlain among others, had specially the organization of poverty, and they were taxes, heavy beyond measure, hoping to exterminate them by impoverishment and exhaustion. New tables of taxes had already been drawn up, but the still further increasing their severity, on the pretext that as the Jews were atheists they deserved no protection. They were delivered from this oppression in an unexpected manner by the Emperor Julian, who delivered as greatly from his brother Gallus, as from his cousin and co-emperor, Constantius. The miserable confusion of the inclusion of an act of self-renunciation on the fusion on Hillel, which had already thoroughly controlled. The complication of a new name and nomenclature, and the making known the times of the festivals to the community and bringing them by announcing them by messages. During the persecutions of the Constantians, this method had proved itself to be impracticable and useless. Whenever the Sanhedrin was prevented from fixing the dates of the week, the Jewish communities were left under doubt concerning the most important religious decisions. In 573, which put a stop to all difficulty and uncertainty, Hillel II introduced a final and fixed calendar. That is to say, the case that everyone's disposed of the means of establishing the rules which divided the Sanhedrin and
Dang it. I deserve that so much.
To be perfect by all who are competent to express an opinion on a subject, whether Jews or non-Jews. 10 months in every year are variable, and in 570 were alternately of 29 and 30 days. The two autumn months only which follows is true the most important of all months are less variable, and being dependent on certain circumstances in astronomy and Jewish law. This and other computations rest, however, on really certain, and also plain and easy. Not to ascertain how much of the system was invented by Hillel, and the other astronomical rules were regarded as
Come on, bro. Come on.
In Babylon, the study of the law, quite so rigorous and that the achievements of ancient times were almost especially had developed, namely, that of perceiving the authentic terms of traditions and handing them down in exactly the same words, and that of making a fruitful application of the same, and of further amplifying them. These methods was represented by one of the academies of Babylonia. Soil was respected, embedded here. Altogether, Soil can be regarded only as a continuation of the academies of Java, as a sort of Babylonian 575. And although the spirit who trained there underwent a change under the influence of the Babylonian method, still the Turanian school never furthered the cause of study to any appreciable extent. It was the method of used by Judah and Ezekiel's also over Babylonia and independent countries. The leaders and representatives of this movement.
Y'all killing me, man. Leave me alone.
Because these three had the finishing touch to the work of completing the Talmud, or rather the music study of the cultures of the Limbo and intellectual system of dialectics. Rabbi Bar Narman, born about 207, died 330, possessed, like the family Jewish law, certain original qualities. He was of the family of Manuel and Mahala, the city of Galilee, the inhabitants of which were for the most part descendants of Aaron, and members of the family of Eli. They asserted that they participated in the curse with which this house had been made. When it came to be known in what manner Ben Child had acquired his wealth, which had been amassed by the farming of coals, he was given to understand that the dignity of teacher must not be stained by association with that equal trade, and that he must give up either one or the other. Having abandoned the calling of farmer of coals, he was recognized by the college, which followed Rabbit's example, as a worthy principal of the academy. Joseph was the not altogether spotless reputation of the principal, however, threatened to become a cause of ruin to the combative academy. There was therefore to take matters together and make a better choice, in order to enlist the sympathy of the people and to attract a numerous audience. To him appeared worthy to fill the Rabbi Arnam and Joseph Ben Child, the one distinguished for Tom Equal dialectics, and the other for dramatic erudition. The choice between the two was so difficult that it was determined to take counsel with them, and the following question was accordingly asked: who possesses the superiority? Simon and Learn, the accountant of genius. Although not needed, was nevertheless held in no esteem. The decision was given in favor of the former. But Joseph entertained scruples against accepting this dignity.
I probably should have backed up. That's alright, Toddy Yosh. Come here, man. Alright, Richie. I just want to talk for a few minutes. Put your behind. Quit trying to change the subject. Forehead. That's what I'm talking about right here. Snapping. Man, I had to take him down about halfway. Lord, now. You are annoying. Why are such things prohibited by the teachers of the law? The misconception and treatment of this subject investigated while the variety which he sees according to a dry theme by means of the occasional introduction of an again sentence made it more interesting and captivating. At times he would entertain students with interesting anecdotes before beginning his discourse. And as I see you coming back to see me again.
He would begin to treat them more serious and weighty subjects. I used to look at his own as prepared for the reception of the response, and when this reception was best to become frivolous. I love all the test questions which he used before expressed their
What is that? He's like, it's a thermal lens. I don't have to worry about it.
For this reason, the reverence in which he was held by the teachers of the law equal devils was entertained for the founder of Gabanon and Jewish life. But in proportion that he was beloved by his circle, he was obnoxious to the knowledge of the Medina.
I'm gonna die. This might someone else scale max over here. Oh. Got you again. About to be out of this match right here. Oh man, it's just the person I want to see. Joseph Ben Child, born about 270, died about 333, was sickly and insensitive, and possessed a passionate disposition.
Ooh, smart.
Joseph's hard bought may be considered as a symbol of the decay of the method of teaching which by the dictate on the power of memory. With these separate treasures of learning and tradition, guarding every element of its work as painfully as a miser, and pouring off all efforts exerted by the informant of the knowledge, as a vein might obscure its mirror like a dirty. But in an unlucky moment, the story has been discovering the lost treasures. The Serenian school, the home of culture, also began to decline, through the neglecting to further the development of law. After Chaz's death, the post of principal was held for 12 years 309-320, by his son, Rabba Olabiaba. But the studious youths were more strongly attracted by the rising star of the embedded academy. For this reason, Rabba's lot appeared the only circumstance in connection with which any remembrance of him is received. After the death of Rabba Malvina, the Serenian academy was deserted, and it was not until almost half a century later when it began to regain its lost memory. After Joseph's death, colleges were said to be instituted by his successor. They were formed soon after the time of all the famous. They were Rabbi, Ziara, and Rabba Marshall. All the 14 sons of the former bishop gave Joseph like an answer, to which they all objected to the question of the Rabbi was victorious in his intellectual struggle.
Oh, Princess. You got a thing for me.
His father Peter had died before, his mother immediately after his birth. Then this took the place of his mother, while Rabba, the superstitious of all, Rabbi struck with gratitude and devotion of his lost brother, in finding more favor.
Love you, darling.
To his uncle Rabbi, Rabbi owed his knowledge of the law and his skill in Talmudic dialectics. Temporarily, great institutions during his early youth, and it is to be said of them, the blood shows of another belief. Rabbi appears to have possessed it and honored fortune. Like the majority of the well-known teachers of the law, however, he had a small field of his own, which he cultivated by the agency of upbringing. His character was mild and yielding, and he retained these qualities in his intercourse with the various classes of society. His maxim was, that man should be sagacious with the fear of God, gentle and conciliatory in his speech, and have peace with his brethren, with his relations, in fact, with all the world, even with the heathen abroad, so that he might be beloved and esteemed, and possess influence over his fellow men. At this time, opinions, words, and deeds were still one and the same. Abai's integrity was even acknowledged by such of the Samaritans as well in Babylonia. Having once lost an ass which was found by some Samaritans, it was brought back by them to its owner, though he was not able to mention any special mark by which it could be recognized. If now were not he should not have the ass even if it had worn some particular mark. Under Abai's direction of the embedded academy 333-338, the number of students diminished to about 200, and therefore in remembrance of the power of scholars he had brought together during the time of his predecessors, as he began, he called himself a Mormon influence. It was not that less interest and pleasure than formerly were now felt in study, but that Abai possessed a rival of Allah, who had founded the school of his own in the streets of Abu-Hikis, whither he had brought unified attracting many students. Both of these teachers brought the embedded method to its greatest perfection. Rival one another in talent and ingenuity, they discovered the answers to questions which Rabba and Joseph had never been solved. They handed down no longer according to the discussion. These things were therefore solved by the help of the which received the names of their most sufficient adepts, and were known as the Patriarchal Churches of the The sad news of Babylon also brought with them new culture, from the source of which Johanan was the head, and thus inspired to learn the streets of Babylonia with new vigor. The office of principal was born 299, died 352, and this was expected as a matter of course. Which caused him to be considered inferior to his fellow men, although his present and even more. Even though he with his own character, and described himself in the following words, I am always careful. Although he was superior to the majority of his fellow countrymen, his pride and character was tainted, nevertheless, with certain peculiarities of human uses. He was luxurious, proud and overbearing, and although his fellow countrymen did not enjoy the best of reputation in his own, I was afraid that I should no longer retain the attachment of my missions, but as to recognize my partiality in giving judgment, all must feel that we were all lovely. The Bible seems to have approved this tendency of God to sacrifice moral dignity for the acquisition of popular favor. When a teacher of the law, said he, is so greatly beloved by his fellow citizens, it is not because of his great merit, but on account of his indulgence, which the prophet and her faith always teach their practice, and commands to reprimand them. It has already been mentioned that the inhabitants of the Jews were descended for the most part from proselytes, for which reason the aristocratic Babylonian Jews were wont to contract marriages with them. As the Meshusins thus seemed to be at a loss how to obtain wives, Z.I. declared an religious perspective as our being married persons who had been born out of law. Was so offensive to their kind, that they almost stoned him to death with the roots and which roots were decorated in further during the celebration of the Feast of Tabernacles, just as King Alexander the Emperor hardly found words severe enough with which to name the who would give utterance to so inconsiderate a decision and choose between so many descendants of proselytes. In order to make the figure of the populace still more strongly on his side, he demonstrated 187 theory that proselytes might marry and he succeeded by this flattery in taunting the Meshusins so
Just
frequently that they
standing there.
of silken stuffs. And after
Duh.
the Apollo reported somewhat cheap
Dang it. Trying to ruin my life and stuff.
proselytes might ally themselves with pastors' families.
Or end it.
This decision having caused satisfaction, following words. I only meant well towards you.
Man, they killing us. What have y'all been doing over there? Having a cigarette break? Oh, God. He's gonna hit me with the dang missile rack. Kill me, Fox. Oh, it's Carneta. Let's see, practicing.
Meanwhile, another person who was equally well acquainted with the law suggested to the anxious father that, although he was prevented from making over the money in question to his son by will, he was, nevertheless, at liberty to do so by declaring before witnesses that the money belonged to the latter. Rado was greatly incensed at the man who offered this counsel, and complained as bitterly of the secret device as if he had thereby been deprived of a lawfully by the acquired fortune. Rado's conduct also violated and accepted Kalashnikov's terms of his case.
Just because I need to check. Yeah, see my conduct point on it. Zip. Time for me to leave.
Of which the latter had not otherwise disposed, and if unpaid, nevertheless, committed against the higher laws of morality by withholding from them. Another example of Rado's self-conduct by the fact that he exacted a higher rent from the tenants of his fields than was customary in Babylonia. At times his behavior towards persons of slender means was marked by a doctrines of charity and pity, inculcated equally by the ouches of the scriptures. The conduct of his brother's firm was even more heartless. He posed as a moral censor, and the others who were forced him not to be religious enough, he made slaves of them, and compelled them to carry him about in his guilty litter. Even to this conduct Rado offered no objection, but sanctioned his brother's other proceedings by the forgotten law, which countenanced the treatment of the Jews as slaves, in case they no longer lived in accordance with the law. During this period, the simple manners and the honesty which had obtained among the Jews of Babylonia in former times fell to a low ebb with many of them, and made room for luxury, vanity, and thirst for power. Many a teacher of the law was clad in gorgeous garments and was carried about in a gilded litter. They no longer felt themselves one with the people from whom they had risen, but constituted a particular caste, a patrician class, who mutually protected and maintained one another's interests, looking down with pride and contempt on 589 lower orders of the populace. Rado himself admitted that whenever he was called upon to decide a point of law in which a person of the same class of society as himself was concerned, he was unable to sleep until he succeeded in defending the law in his favor. If a member of his group on his produce to market, he was invested with the privilege of being allowed to sell before anyone else, in order that he might obtain higher prices. The cause of the member was always heard first in the court. The teachers of all such communities who were taxes in a lump sum were exempt from all interests. Rado allowed the associates, in places where they were not known, to declare their way, in order that they might enjoy the advantages attaching thereto. What a contrast to former times, when the Janites hesitated, at the risk of their lives even, to derive any benefit from their knowledge of the law. Rado went to extreme lengths in affording privileges to the doctors of the law. He permitted the associates to cast themselves on as worshippers of fire in order to escape payment of the charity. The course of conduct as pursued by the learned classes gradually awoke a dislike of them among the people. The lower classes spoke of them contemptuously of those scholars. The mockery expressed by this epithet must have been so bitter that on their side the teachers of the law branded as heretics Epicureans all who made use of the expression. Scholarship has no longer obtained recognition. What do we prophesy to scholars? The people ask themselves. All their knowledge is employed for their own benefit. At the head of this opposition to the rabbis stood the family of the physician, Benjamin of Meshuza, which seems to have been possessed of great importance, as Rava paid great attention to its members. What advantage do we really derive from the teachers of 590 the law? Said they generally. They can neither allow us to eat ravens, nor forbid us to eat pigeons, meaning that in spite of all their dialectics they were unable to proceed beyond the circle of established customs. Although Rava declared his utterance of venting Nasir to be heretical, it does not appear that he excommunicated him, but rather that he treated him with great consideration. It is probable that the latter belonged to the remnant of the prince of the captivity. Meanwhile, the Jews successfully loved the disciples crowded in even greater numbers and formally to Rava's academy in Meshuza, neglecting in their art their business pursuits. Rava was obliged to warn them against this excess. I pray you do not come to my school in the spring and autumn months, lest you should neglect the time of the harvest and of the preparation of wine and oil, and so be troubled throughout the year by the cares of life. Rava's discourses were even more popular than Avi's by reason of the clearness of his explanations, the exactitude of his distinctions, and the boldness of his treatment of the subject matter of tradition. Rava showed a decided preference for analyzing the Mishnah to the bare study of its dry subject matter. The former method offered a wide field for the importance of dialectical powers, while the Mishnah, taken in its simplest sense, became a mere matter of memory. On this account, Rava praised the more above the Janites. The former explained better, such points as were doubtful to the latter. He was accustomed to say that a grain of pepper fumes was better than a basket full of melons. In contrast to Ziyai, who was averse to that method of teaching which encouraged ingenious reasoning, and valued highly the simplicity of the Mishnah, Rava declared that whoso greatly stones into himself their diagonals. X. 9. Thus are they characterized by 91 who know very little. As he was split with one of himself. Such are they who are acquainted with the Talmud. The true Talmud, the attractive collection of nice questions, answers, comparisons and distinctions, the lofty flight of thought, which, starting from a point, passes with the quickness of lightning over the intermediate steps of the chain of reasoning. The dialectic form of the Talmud is the product of this period. The Triumvirate, Rava, Abai, and Rava were Talmudists in the real meaning of the word, dialecticians. In this sense, the Talmud was the creation of the Comedian and Hasidim schools. Indeed, there was scarcely a mention of it. By reason of his extensive acquirements, his profound knowledge, and perhaps also on account of his wealth, Rava remained the sole authority during his continuance at the head of the academy. Questions were referred to him even from above, when the frequent persecutions of the Stanius and Gauss involved the Holy Land in the deepest misery. This period was by no means the happiest for the Jewish subjects of the Persian crown. They were not spared during the obstinate struggle between Rome and Persia. A Persian army was stationed at Meshuza, and had to be maintained by the inhabitants of the town. As the population was entirely Jewish, this duty was attended with many inconveniences. Shatter II was no friend of the Jews. In ancient times, numerous Jewish families had been transported to Armenia, and now lived there in their own cities. This latter city, which had formerly been the capital of the Persian Empire, received the name of Shahuria from the many Jews who settled there after the captivity. Shadrach appears to have oppressed the Jews of Babylonia in no less degree, for Rabbah was 592 obliged to expend considerable sums of money in preventing persecution. His friends extolled his good luck and name, to a certain extent, exempted from the misfortunes to which the Jewish people had been predestined, seeing that up till then he had been subjected to no extortions. To these congratulations Rabbah replied as follows: "You know not how much I am obliged to do in secret for Shadrach's words." On one occasion it was with great difficulty that he managed to escape a personal danger which threatened him in his capacity of principal of the schools. He had ordered the Jews to be flogged for having held carnal intercourse with the Persian woman, and the chastisement had caused the death of the public. The case happening to come to Shadrach's knowledge, he commanded a heavy punishment to be inflicted on Rabbah for having exercised the criminal jurisdiction. The latter appears to have escaped penalty by flight, but his house was pillaged. All further consequences of this occurrence were averted by Ikra, the queen mother, who was reported to have said to her son, "Do not meddle in any way with the Jews, for God grants them whatever they pray for." In striking contrast with her son, Ikra always entertained a special liking for the Jews, and in particular for the teachers of the law, to whom at times she vouched to glance into the most secret recesses of her heart. In the same way as she had formerly sent a purse of gold to Joseph, she now forwarded 400 golden dinars to Rabbah. From contemporary was of opinion that this present ought to be refused, as it was not lawful to receive alms of the heathens. Notwithstanding this, Rabbah accepted the money, but distributed it amongst the heathen poor. The queen mother also sent an animal for sacrifice to the principal of the school in Meshuza, but she requested might be offered up according to the Jewish rites, in order to prove her adoration of the 593 only God. Rabbah did not live to see either the introduction of the calendar by Hillel, or the short period during which prosperity smiled upon the Jews. He died after holding his office for 14 years. After Rabbah's death, the importance of Meshuza began to decline, and Tambeda, which had unwillingly surrendered the palm to Rabbah, now occupied its former position. It is remarkable that from this time forward the mediocrity began to wane, as if intellectual activity needed recognition after so many exertions. Not one of Rabbah's successors was sufficient to either to compensate for his loss. The principles of the Babylonian schools, Nachman ben Isaac, Papa, and Talmud Nahariya, were possessed of no conspicuous importance. The Parmenides spirit of severe analysis and ingenious dialectics was indeed cultivated, but in no wise advanced. Nachman ben Isaac, born about 280, died 356, was chosen as the leader of the Parmenides Taida, but merely on account of his advanced age, his extraordinary piety, and perhaps also of his independence. His tenure of office only extended over 4 years, and was not rendered memorable by any noteworthy feature. During this period, a new academy was founded at Meres, in proximity to Surat, situated on the canal of the same name. The founder of this new academy, of which he became the principal, was Papa Barchina, born about 300, died 375. He had early been left an orphan, who was wealthy, and by trade a grower of beer from dates. His friend, Hina ben Joshua, equally wealthy, and his partner in business, became a teacher of this academy. But the two together were not able to fill the void which Rabbah's death had occasioned. It is true that the members of the Meshuza Academy gathered around them. But opportunities soon arose of effective comparisons, 594 the result of which were anything but favorable to the new chiefs. The following anecdote will serve to indicate the character of the principal of the Meres Academy. Certain of the younger teachers of the law had come to Meres in order to be present at Papa's lectures. This latter, however, left his subject in so confused a condition that they secretly began to make signs one to the other. Papa, seeing this, was exceedingly mortified, and said to them, "Let those present depart from here in peace." Another member, one Simon Bar Ashi, father of the Ashi, who became famous later on, used to entertain Papa with questions which quite exceeded his modest capabilities. Papa, in despair lest he should be put to shame before his pupils, would throw himself down in prayer, and beseech the merciful God to preserve him from the terrible feeling of confusion. Simon, having been an unobserved witness of this fervent prayer, made up his mind and told he would keep silence, and no longer involuntarily mortify Papa. In the Hauja, Papa was the representative of a school which was so devoid of self-dependence, that its partisans could not even hold an opinion of their own concerning the views of others. Whenever two or more conflicting opinions left the meaning of the precept of the line down, Papa would say, "Let us adopt both views, or else we hold to all these opinions." Papa remained at his post during 19 years, 355-375, and the stupor into which all minds were thrown during this period was only dissipated by his successor. Then he possessed a principle of equal insignificance in Talmud Nahariya, whose character a single anecdote will suffice to indicate. King Shadrach asked him whether the practice of burying the dead was founded on the Torah, or whether it was simply an ancient custom. The question arose from the uses of the 595 Persians, who neither buried nor burned corpses of their dead. Shammah, however, could bring forward no passage of scripture in support of burial. Achab ben Jacob, a member of the household of the prince of the captivity, and therefore privileged to say many things, expressed the following opinion of this principle: the world is delivered into the hands of fools. Why did he not instance the verse, "And thou shalt bury him on the same day"? In the course of the 21 years 356-377, during which Shammah held office, a change occurred in the Roman Empire which was not without weighty consequences for the communities of Judah and Babylonia. A nephew of the Emperor Constantius, Julian, defected a revolution which, however, was only temporary. Emperor Julian was one of those masterful characters who impressed their names indelibly on the memory of man. It was only an early death and hatred of the ruling church which prevented him from obtaining the title of priest. Although the Emperor Constantine stammered, the fratricidal sword of the Constantines hung over his head, and he was compelled by fear of death to give hypocritical allegiance to the Christian religion, which he feared. Almost by a miracle he was created co-emperor by his uncle Constantius, who hated him from the bottom of his heart, and had already held a council about his death. A military revolt in his favor, and the unexpected death of his enemy Constantius, put Julian in possession of exclusive power. Known in the history of the Church as the Apostate Apostolic, Theravada, Julian made it the duty of his life to realize the ideal, which association with his teachers, Rabbinius and Maximus, had suggested to him, and which had been further noble by his rich money. His favorite thoughts were to protect the oppressed of all nations and religions.
Hey, I just noticed this sheet cover. I can't ever get my... Hold on a second. Are you still there?
However, from its most conspicuous blemishes,
Let me stop this text. Sheet cover? Is that... You still there? I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to keep the book down for a minute in case we still have a conversation going on. That I really, it annoys me. I really want to know when somebody try to chat me. You know, it might be some kind of marketing campaign or things, but you don't want people to feel like you're being rude, not talking to them. That annoys me about Streamlabs because it always happens. Well, I think the person is coming. Well, let me give them a follow. Been out here for a year. I'm gonna follow you. I explained to my wife, my wife, that where she's from is like they're a little bit more standoffish or whatever, and in my town it's like you don't just walk by people and not even acknowledge them or look at them. You're supposed to say hello. She's like, you always talking to people and stuff, acknowledging people, and I had to get my wife is of color, right? And I got a black woman to explain to my wife. Oh, she cover is she's playing Among Us, which I'm supposed to play that. My students were like saying at the last school I was at, Among Us, Among Us, Among Us, Among Us, and I still have never played it, but like I said, with ADHD, I try to focus on things. Okay, so I'm going to try to focus on things. Got my combat point limit cleared. Joy. And get my book started.
Blemishes, which has rendered it so contemptible and ridiculous. Finally, to confine Christianity, which had gained so much power during so short a period, within its proper limits.
6 deathmatch tickets.
However,
Awesome.
the persecution to which he himself had been subjected, he refrained from retaliating on the Christians, in spite of their mania for persecution. Still, he was desirous of restraining their encroachments, and therefore deprived them of their influence in civil and scientific matters, and attempted to lower them in the appreciation of the learned classes by the employment of the weapons of the intellect and delicate satire. And spoke of the Christian by the name of Gallienus. For this reason he was all the more friendly to the Jews, and was the only emperor after Alexander's rise with serious interest in Judaism. He was led by more reasons than one to prefer Judaism. Brought up in the Christian religion, he had become acquainted with Judaism through the Holy Bible, and the more Judaism was hated and persecuted by Christianity, the greater was the reverence with which he regarded it. The emperor even admitted that he had been greatly shocked by the cruel oppression to which the Jews were exposed during the
I'm by myself.
the religion was branded as blasphemous by victorious Christianity. Julian was greatly impressed by the God of Judaism, as described in Holy Writ, and acknowledged him as the great God. He refused to believe, however, that beside him there existed no other gods. He especially admired the Neros of the Jews, and was astonished that they cared for their holy divine as such a seal that no beggars existed among them.
See, this is the squad dropper. I would love to pop him one time. I don't care about nobody else but him.
And for this reason he was especially pleased with the Jewish system of sacrifices, with the solemn pomp of the temple and the priests. The emperor reproached the Christians with having rejected the custom of worship of Judaism, but he particularly blamed them for having discarded the sacrificial service. It was true that the Jews did not then offer sacrifices, but this was only because they no longer possessed the temple. Finally, the idea may have occurred to Julian to dispose of Babylon and Jude in his favor, but Persian warriors
Sacagawea. I hate killing a girl. I had to do it. Thank you. You need your situational awareness thing adjusted.
With my own arm have I hurled them to deepest ruin, so that not even the memory of their fall shall remain with us. Being on the point of affording me yet greater favor, I have exhorted my brother, the venerable patriarch Julius Morel, to put a stop to the collection of the so-called apostles and and Lord, let no one further press your nation with the collection of such imposts, so that every year my empire may be free from care. And thus, in the full enjoyment of peace, may you address your burning prayers for my empire to the Almighty Creator of the universe, who has afforded me this strong right hand. It seems to be the fact that those whose lives are passed in anxiety are in the history, and do not dare raise their hands in supplication for the posterity of their country. Those who attend on all parts, and with their whole hearts, are able to direct their sincere prayers for the welfare of the empires of the Most High, who can best pardon my rule as I propose to reign. Thus should you do order that, on the happy termination of the
Missed it.
I may be able to visit Jerusalem, the holy city, which shall be rebuilt at my expense, as you have desired to see it restored for so many years. Then God will give praise to your Almighty. It is not great that the question was produced by this gracious letter, which, more than even than Cyrus used it to the Babylonian exiles, came from the question of the long lives. Seemingly, which is followed in Jewish tradition, relates that the Jews applied to Julian the following first Daniel's eye. 34. Now when they shall fall, they shall be holding a real time. Daniel was supposed to have prophesied that the Jewish nation had suffered at the hands of Gallus. Julian would extend help to them by his support and his promise to rebuild the temple. Meanwhile, Julian did not forget to act upon his promise. Although London became occupied with the 599 preparations for the Persian War, he had nevertheless at heart the restoration of the Temple of Jerusalem from its ruins. For this purpose, he appointed a special chief overseer in the person of his best friend, the learned and virtuous Philippius of Antioch, and exhorted him to spare no expense during the rebuilding. The governors of Syria and Palestine received orders to lay villages with everything that was necessary. The building materials were already prepared, and workmen were assembled in great numbers for the purpose of clearing away the ruins which had been heaped upon the site of the temple ever since its destruction, nearly 300 years before. The Jews do not seem to have interested themselves in the rebuilding of the temple, for the Jewish authorities maintain a complete silence concerning this fact, and the stories of the honor of the Jews for the rebuilding which are related by the later Christian reports are purely fictitious. The distant communities are said to have forwarded sums of money toward the restoration of the temple, and it is even asserted that women sold their jewelry and brought stones in their mouths. But all this was quite unnecessary, for Julian had amply provided both building materials and workmen. The Christians also spread the report that Julian only pretended to be kindly disposed towards the Jews in order to entice them into Judaism. Especially spiteful is the story that the Jews destroyed several churches in Japan and neighboring countries, and threatened to inflict as much evil on the Christians as they themselves had suffered at the hands of the Christian emperors. The report that about this period the Christians of Edessa massacred the entire Jewish population of that city is more credible. It may be assumed as a certainty that the hope of re-establishing their state, which had occasioned 2 or 3 revolutions, and had caused so many victims, was extinguished in the hearts of 600 of the Jews. The restoration of their former magnificence was now only expected at the appearance of the Messiah. Without the latter, a temple would have seemed utterly absurd, according to the views which were entertained at this period, and still less would it have been possible for a Roman emperor to be regarded as the Messiah. It was generally said that the God of the Jewish nation ought not to climb over the wall. Re-establish the state by force, nor to rebel against the ruling nations, but to bear their yoke patiently until the coming of the Messiah, and not to attempt to bring about the period by violence. Meanwhile, the Christians were and decided upon the commencement of Lord's spring, 363. The indifference of the Jews seems, however, to have contributed more than anything else to the suspension of the rebuilding, on account of the various obstacles which were encountered. On the occasion of the same time, fire broke out by which several workmen lost their lives. This entertaining conflagration doubtless occurred in the passages which formerly existed beneath the temple, and had its origin in the gases which had long been compressed there, and which, on being suddenly released from pressure, ignited on coming into contact with the air above. These sudden explosions occurred repeatedly, and disheartened the workmen, so that they gradually gave up work. If the Jews had interested themselves more warmly in the rebuilding, it is hardly probable that they would have allowed themselves to be destroyed by such an obstacle. Philippius also became less enthusiastic, and waited for further demands from the emperor. Julian, 601 however, says it had accused the Christians of having the temple on his return from the war. But this story, which, like these others relating to this event, is not from Christian sources, is wholly untrustworthy. The Christian authorities of the following generation relate the most wonderful tales of the miracles which are said to have happened during this impious rebuilding, the purpose of all of which was to warn the obdurate Jews and to glorify Christ. The issue of the Persian War NHAPPY as it was for Julian has also calculated to deprive the Jews of their short-lived exultation, and to prepare a new triumph for the Christians. Julian, however, was to mean the golden scene which had been the Roman world, to the region of the Euphrates. His ambition was to spread the Roman kingdom on the other side of the Alps. And to enter up the Euphrates with his face, the king of the Rose.
Oh no.
It is impossible to determine which side was espoused by the Jews. The town of Jerusalem, which contained the inhabitants, was often besieged for 3 days, compelled to capitulate, and finally burned. The inhabitants staged in small boats by the canals of the Euphrates. The conduct of the Jewish inhabitants of Jerusalem towards Julian therefore remained uncertain. But the town of Jerusalem, which was inhabited entirely of Christians by Jews, and was surrounded by a low wall, displayed a spirit of hostility. It was completely abandoned by its population, and the soldiers, giving them to their martial passion, burned it to the ground. The town of Jerusalem, which was to a certain extent a suburb of the city, was held by a Persian garrison. It was most hotly besieged, and offered so determined a resistance that the entire military force of the Romans hardly sufficed to effect its fall. Mashuza, the seat of Rabbah's academy, now Jewish inhabitants rivaled those of the capital in magnificence, fell 10 years after Rabbah's death 363, under the blows of the Roman catapults, and became a heap of ruins. After the war it was again rebuilt. In spite of the progress which Julian made into the end, he lost not only the fruits of his victory, but even his right to rule his He was struck down by it, said to have been shot by 600 soldiers on who was emperor of the East, was an Arian, and had suffered too severely from the powerful task of trying to be intolerant himself. He protected the Jews and bestowed honors and distinctions upon them. His brother, Valentinian I, the emperor of the West, likewise chose the policy of tolerance in the struggle between Catholics and Arians, and committed the profession of either religion without political disadvantages being thereby incurred 371. This toleration was also extended to Jews. 604. Chapter Exodus. The last of all. Decline of the Roman Empire. Attitude and redaction of the Talmud. Josiah John II Jews under the emperors Theodosius I and his successors. The extinction of the patriarchy. Chrysostom and Ambrosius. Fanaticism of the clergy. Jerome and his Jewish teachers. Mars etc. It consists generations of Mora. The Jews under Pyrrhus. Who is colonies in India. Completion of the Babylonian Talmud. Its fierce and intense. 375-500 CE. The period during which the Roman Empire was approaching a stage of complete dissolution marks an epoch of decay and degeneration, destruction and rejuvenescence, ruin and reconstruction in the history of the world. The storm, which burst in the north, under the wall of China, brought down a black thunder cloud in its train, and shattered the giant tree of the Roman Empire, which, sapless and leafless, could only continue to exist thus far by the force of gravity. Nothing now remained but a wreck of splinters, the point of every precious name. The unfaithful nuns, the scourge of God, drove before them horde upon horde, tribe upon tribe, whose names and memory refuses to retain one tongue to utter. The period of the migration of the nations confirms almost literally the words of the prophet. The earth staggers like a drunken man, and her sins lie heavy upon her. She falls and cannot rise, and the Lord Zebaoth punishes the bands of heaven in heaven, and the kings of earth upon earth. Small wonder indeed that in the Goths, the first wave of the migration of tribes which inundated and devastated the Roman Empire, the Jews did not fail to discover Gog from the land of Magog, of 605 whom a prophet had said, Thou shalt descend and come like a storm, thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, down all thy bands, and many people would be Ezekiel's 9. In this remarkable alternation of disappearance of nations and reformation, the condition forced itself upon Jewish thinkers that the Jewish people was eternal. A nation arises, another vanishes, but Israel alone remains forever. The barbaric tribes, the avengers of the long enslaved nations, settled on the ruined site of the Roman Empire, wild plants only to be cultivated by the master and their history, uncouth savages, to be civilized by earnest heat. In this iron time, when no man could be certain of the next day, the leaders of Judaism in Palestine and Babylonia felt deeply the necessity of placing the treasure which had been confided to their hands in safety, so that it might not be imperiled by the accidents of the day. An epoch of election commenced, during which the harvest which had been sown, cultivated, and reaped by their forefathers was brought under shelter. This is just a matter of tradition, which has been so greatly augmented, enriched and purified by a long series of generations in the diversity of schools, was henceforth to be set in order. This tendency of compilation and arrangement was represented by Ashi. Rodana, Ashi born 352, died 427, was the son of Sima and a descendant of an ancient family. He so early gave evidence of complete maturity of mind, that while still a youth he restored the long desolate Serenian Academy to its former place of honor. He was certainly not more than 20 when he was that school. Coming of a wealthy family, Ashi possessed many forests, the wood of which he had no compunction in selling to feed the holy fires of the worship of the Nephiles. It is remarkable that nothing is known of the history success of his youth and education. There is even no indication of the reason which induced him to infuse new life into the Catholic Serenian Academy. Probably Sorel was his native town. He pulled down and rebuilt the school which had been erected several centuries previously by Reb, and which was already beginning to exhibit signs of decay. And in order that nothing should occur in the rebuilding, he brought his bed on the site, and remained there and did also relatively hospital in the left. The square school was built on an elevation so that it might overlook the whole city. Ashi united thorough knowledge of the entire body, and that in dialectics, and thus satisfied all claims. His contemporaries conferred upon him the distinguishing title of Rodana teacher. During the 52 years over which his public labors extended, 7 principles succeeded each other in Competitive. Naharina, which had made no figure since its destruction by Ben Lazar Odna, also began to come into none of these teachers really disputed the supremacy of Ashi, and Sora began occupying the honorable position into which it had been placed by God. The oldest Amorite, and of restored unity. The most distinguished among them, even the chief submitted to his orders. It was in Sora that the princes of the captivity now received the homage of the thousands of all Babylonian communities. This ceremony had formally taken place in the first of this homage was made every year on the Sabbath, at the commencement of the month of March in the autumn, and this Sabbath was known as the Arrival of the Prince of the Captivity. The extraordinary assembly and had connected it with everything of public or general interest. The splendor with which its numerous assemblies invested it was so great that Ashi expressed surprise that the heathen Persians could be witness of it all, and not feel themselves made to embrace Judaism. In consequence of his concentration of power in his own person, Ashi was able to undertake a work, the consequences of which were incalculable. Collecting and arranging the explanations, deductions, and magnifications of the Mishnah, which were included under the main Talmud. The immediate goal which suggested this undertaking was undoubtedly the consideration of the immense accumulation of matter, the results of the labor of 3 generations, ought not to be allowed to vanish from their meager lack of interest. This would certainly be the case if some means were not provided of impressing the meaning upon the mind. Ashi even then complained of the diminution of the power of memory of his final and seven times gone by, without, however, taking into account that by reason of the accumulation of matter the memory was even more charged than formerly 600 years successful treatment of this exuberant material was rendered more than half a century. Every year on the occasion of the assembly of all the members, disciples, and the the Talmudical explanations and corollaries were thoroughly gone into, and thus for 40 years more than 50 of them were completely arranged. In the latter half of his period of office, Ashley went through the whole of the matter which had just been put in order for the second time. What remained after this double process of winnowing and testing was accepted as a binding force. This arrangement of the bulky matter of the Talmud was not committed to writing. The conservation of the oral tradition and the incarnation, as it were, of those years was still regarded as a crime against religion, more especially at this period, when a person had taken possession of the Holy Scriptures as its own spiritual law, and considered itself as the chosen part of Israel. According to the views of the times, Judaism was now possessed of no distinguishing feature, except the oral law. This thought frequently found itself in the political form Moses requested permission to commit the writings in the Mishnah or oral law. As that the nations would one day possess a Greek translation of the Torah, and would affirm, we are Israel. We are the children of God, while the Jewish people would also declare, we are God's children, and he therefore gave a token for this purpose, he who possesses my secret mystery is my son. This is the definition of the oral exegesis of the law. Therefore, the to write the fullness of the law, will be counted as a standard. 609 It is not all astonishing that this multitude of order details could be retained by the memory, for before the time of Ashley they had been retained though not yet produced together. By his compilation of the Talmud, Ashley completed the work which had been begun by Judah 2 centuries previously. But his task was infinitely more difficult. The Mishnah embraced only the plain halakha and artistically constructed paragraphs of the law. The Talmud, however, gave also the living part of the development of the law and its spiritual tenor, and this with dialectic exactitude. The first impulse to the compilation of the Talmud marks one of the most important epochs in Jewish history. From this time forward, the Babylonian Talmud Babli became an active, potent, and influential element. Ashley, however, did not entirely complete this gigantic task. For, although he directed his article to the work of compilation, the creative power was not so completely conquered even among his contemporaries that they were content to entirely restrict their energies to the work of compilation. On the contrary, Ashley solved many of the questions which had been left out, or his work unsatisfactorily answered by the preceding more, and his decisions are as forcible and ingenious as they are simple. In fact, one often wonders how they could have been overlooked by his predecessors. About this time, the Jerusalem or Palestinian Talmud was compiled and completed. The name of the compiler is not known. The latest authorities whose names have been preserved are Samuel Barton and Jochanan Bar Moya, contemporaries of Ashley. The period of Ashley's activity falls within the reign of Josiah 400-420, a king of the Sasanian dynasty, who was favorably disposed towards the Jews. He must have been concerning the Roman and refused to surrender his own will and allow himself to be ruled by them. He was exceedingly well-affected towards the Jews, and at the same time favorably disposed towards the Christians. On the days of Hanukkah, there were present at his court the three representatives of the Babylonian Jews, Ashley, of Sora, Marzatra, of Kumbedida, and Anmer, of Mahardia, who had borne Nathan, who, if he was innocent, promulgated a law confining to the patriarchs and findings the right of excommunicating members of their community, and forbidding the secular authorities to meddle with the domestic affairs of the Jews. He proved to demolish his justice towards the Jews by condemning to death the consular agents of Titus, whom the patriarch had accused of of surreptitiously gaining possession of important documents. For the rest, nothing more is known of the circumstance to which these documents refer. Theodosius frequently had to restrain the religious zeal of the Christians, which regarded as heroism such deeds as the disturbance of the religious devotions of the Jews, the pillaging or destruction of the synagogues, or their appropriation and conversion into churches. Who had been called from the solitude of the cloisters of the ministry, thundered against the Jews from the prison. He made them the subject of 6 successive sermons. The behavior of the Jews at Antioch, however, was indeed Jew-provoking. Without any active endeavor on their part, the Christians became interested in their customs, their divine service, and their court of law. On Sabbaths and festivals, many Christians, especially of the female sex, ladies of rank and women of lower position, met together regularly in the synagogues. They listened to devotions with glowing eloquence on the Jewish New Year, attended the solemn service on the Day of Atonement, and participated in the joys of the Feast of Tabernacles. They were all the more attracted by the fact that all this had gone behind the backs of the Christian priests, and since 14 of the neighbors had been entreated not to betray them. Christians preferred the new losses and forced Jewish brothers, but one of the Jews was very more opposing and forcible to them. It was attempted to voluntary honor of by the Christians that the sought to direct the violence of his housekeeping sermons, bestowing all manner of harsh names upon them, and proclaiming the synagogues as promiscuous, dens of robbers, and even still worse places. Ambrosius, a Milan, was a violent official, ignorant of all theology, to whom the reputation for violence in the church had raised to a provision. He was even more virulent against the Jews. Once when the Christians of Rome had burned down the synagogue, and the usurper Maximus commanded the Roman Senate to rebuild it at the expense of the state, Ambrosius called him a Jew. The bishop of Salamis, in northern Mesopotamia, having caused the synagogues situated in that district to be burned to the ground by house, Theodosius ordered them to build it up again at his own expense, and punished all who had participated in the act 388. Hereupon Ambrosius' anger was notified and inflamed, and indeed so that she had thus the emperor employed such sharp, nor to enter the army of the Senate, or even to eat at the table of the nobles. They were only there for the purpose of drawing heavy taxes. To this point, Theodosius endeavored to prove how means of tax. Strengthening the premise that Judaism was not prohibited from existing in the Roman Empire by any law, he was desirous of extending to it the protection of the law against violent attacks. Expecting therefore enjoined the Sons of the East to severely punish the Christian religious rioters and to secure the synagogues 393. But the flood began with the imperial edicts and commands to against the tendency of the times to be malignant. The Jews did not complain, for they were not treated any worse than the ignorance of the various Christian sects whose opponents had gained the upper hand. The savages of the invasion of the barbarians had introduced into sort of parts of the world changed the province of religion against contagion. Vandalism reigned everywhere, in the church as well as in the state. Meanwhile, the exceptional position of the Roman Empire had been either re-established or confirmed by Theodosius and Pompey's law relative to the possession of slaves was revived again. And the Jewish slaves had admitted the slaves into the fold too, thus to be severely punished. The privilege or exemption from the onus of this belongs to the religious freedoms, which the Jews had succeeded in obtaining under his predecessors, was abolished by Theodosius. This emperor bequeathed his dominions to his 2 sons, and as lasting as the Roman chiefs, and into 2 different camps. Henceforth, the Jews of the Roman Empire belonged to different masters, part of them being subjects of the Eastern, others of the Western Empire. Paul Titus, the Eastern or Byzantine Emperor 395-408, was a monarch merely in name. His all-powerful kingdoms, Rufinus and Euphrates, were extremely favorable to the Jews. Rufinus loved money, and the Jews had already discovered the magic power of gold to soften obdurate hearts. Numerous laws were therefore promulgated to succeed in their favor. One of these laws decided 396 that the Jews should remain possessed in the matter of choosing their own market to settle their own, and that people in the from this rate should be liable to severe punishment by imprisonment. Another law was still in force, the illustrious Patriot Ordinance. And the Jews were attacked, probably by the Jewish houses as well as completely destroyed as the heathen temples. Thereupon Arcadius Boreotropius commanded the governors to resist this movement with all possible energy 397. In the same year, he also reenacted and confirmed the law of to execute these judgments, without prejudice to the fact, however, that insofar as their religion was not concerned, they were subject to the Roman law. We must not be surprised by a capricious change under the arbitrary rule of the Byzantine court. A law was published in 399, subjecting all Jews, even the religious superiors, to imperial burdens. This had, perhaps, some connection with Eutropius' fall in the same year. Not much is known of the course of conduct pursued towards the Jews by the Emperor of the West, the feeble Honorius, or his master, Salvo. The abolition of exemption from the fees pronounced against the communities of Aquileia and Calabria does not prove that the systematic hostility already systemically existed against the Jews. Another law of April, 399, forbade, in the name of the Western Emperor Honorius, and under severe penalty, the collection of the patriarchs taxed throughout the whole extent of the prefecture. Such sums as had already been received were confiscated to the imperial treasury. The motive of this prohibition may, however, have been that the Western Emperor regarded with envy the withdrawal of such considerable sums into the prefecture of his brother. But as if the legislation of this period desired to ridicule its own capriciousness, this prohibition was revoked 5 years later, and the Jews were henceforth permitted to collect the patriarchs tax as before, and to hold it without concealment 404. While on the one hand Honorius forbade the Jews and the Samaritans to take any share in the military service, on the other hand, he protected the Jews from molestation on the part of the authorities, and decided by means that the Jews should not be summoned before the court on the Sabbath or the festivals 409. The Middle Ages really began also contain other prohibitions of less interest. It was under this emperor that the patriarchate finally fell, although the Maliobatra, the last of the patriarchs, enjoyed great distinction at the imperial court, such as none of his predecessors had ever possessed. The son of the title which had long been worn by the patriarchs, a dignity of Prefect PR Extra, together with the diploma of honor Codicillus Honoratus, had been bestowed 618 upon him, and although these were all honors, they were of great importance at a time when they constituted everything. It is not known what was the particular merit of the knowledge in this distinction, but what probably not found his medical practice. He was a physician, and was credited with the discovery of a much approved remedy for the disease. Against the Jews. He therefore refused himself, exercised jurisdiction to speak to Jews and Christians, and disregarded other similar imperial laws. In consequence of this, Theodosius deprived him of all his higher dignities, took him his diploma of honor, and suffered him to attain only such distinctions as he had enjoyed as patriarch or the But Theodosius in no wise abolished the patriarchate during Gamaliel's lifetime. It was not until after the latter's death that this occurred. And early in 425. Thus, the noble stock of the house of Hillel disappeared. For 3.5 centuries his house had stood at the head of the Judaism. Many of its members had been promoters of the law, of liberty. And the history of their lives had become an important part of the history of the Jewish nation. 15 patriarchs had succeeded each other during this lapse of time.
No. Caramelized. Oh, good. Elite killer. That's fair and square right there. I never see caramelized cheese or squad drop. Ever. Neither DEFCON 1. I deserve to die. Job. I love doing stupid stuff on stream too because it's funny. I need some laugh.
Only one member of the Zambaki community of Jews, Adamantius by name, a teacher of the science of medicine, was induced by this disaster to allow himself to be baptized. He repaired to Constantinople and took advantage of the settled Alexandria. All the rest willingly were banished in addition for the sake of their
Please give me this kill. Come on. No. Stuck it out there and got it shot off. Oh, he was behind me.
trading with the Jews, contracting marriages with them, or causing them to less of their fields. Nothing now remains to take up the weapons of war. They accordingly marry over their enemies behind their backs, which has everywhere and at all times been the manner in which the weaker party has attempted to lighten its burdens. At times also they made use of coarse jokes to express their feelings with regard to Christianity. Such jokes were most usually made on the occasion of the Feast of Purim, when the fearfulness of the festival led to intoxication, and intoxication to irresponsible expressions and demonstrations. On this day, the Jews in their land were accustomed to maintaining their artillery, a number of gallows, and this gallows, which used afterwards to be burned, took, accidentally or intentionally, the form of a cross. Naturally, the Christians complained of profanation of their religion, and the Emperor Theodosius II directed the ruler of the province to put the stop to such a misconduct by threat of severe punishment, without being able, however, to secure. On one 621 occasion, this carnival pleasantry is said to have led to horrible consequences. The Jews of Damascus, a small Syrian town between Antioch and Chalcis, having erected one of these Haman's gallows, were accused by Christians of having suspended the Christian lad crosswise upon it, and of having flogged him to death. Thereupon the emperor ordered the culprits to be punished 415. The Christians of Antioch were not inferior to their brethren of Alexandria in fanaticism. They once begged the emperor not to remove the bones and robes of their martyred leaders, as they afforded their city as great a protection as strong walls. They also, on their side, avenged the deed of the Jews of Damascus by forcibly dispossessing the Jewish fellow citizens of their synagogues. It is a remarkable phenomenon that the prefects and rulers of the provinces for the most part expressed themselves in favor of the Jews against the clergy. This was and must have painted this act of injustice in very vivid colors, for he thereby moved Theodosius II, steeped as he was in monkish bigotry, to adhere an injunction to the inhabitants of Antioch, ordering them to restore the synagogues to their owners. But this decision was announced by Simon Stulanus, who led a life of extreme asceticism in a sort of stable not far from Antioch. From the height of his home, he had pronounced the world and its ways, but the teaching of the Jews was sufficient. Nevertheless, Constantine took in temporal matters. Hardly had he heard of Theodosius' urging the restoration of the stolen synagogues, and now he addressed an insulting letter to the emperor, informing him that he acknowledged God alone, and no one else, as master and emperor, and demanded the withdrawal of the edict. Theodosius hardly stood in need of such intimidation. He 622 revoked his command, and even removed the Syrian prefect, who had raised his voice in favor of the Jews 423. The bigotry of Theodosius II operated upon Honorius, emperor of the West, and by their absurd laws both of them placed the Jews in that exceptional position in which the newly formed German state found them. The Jews were no longer allowed to hold any public
Almost got you.
The Jews with whom Hieronymus held conferences on matters exegetical offered such sound remarks on the worthlessness of several portions of the Apocrypha that even at this day, when knowledge has made such immense strides, they must be acknowledged as correct. Among others, a Jewish teacher of the law ridiculed the additions to Habakkuk, according to which an angel transported the prophet by the hair from Jericho. He demanded where in the Old Testament could be found a conflict to the story of one of the holy prophets, possessed of a body subject to the power of God, and cursing so meant additions to the matter. In spite of the unpretentious stage of the times, the Jews of Palestine were not afflicted with that want of judgment which should not indicate that such not discrimination as holy anything that is put forward as such. They had not extended the right of discernment to
I'm right on your behind. Right on it. Sorry, Class Girl. Got to move, darling. Get out the way. Nice fella. Sorry, Flash Girl. Good job to get all the way behind me like that. Wow.
his gut.
said to have killed and enslaved 2 million Zionists. As a punishment for the sin, police took death half the Jewish population of Israel, and had the Jewish children forcibly brought up to the temple and pointed at worshippers of fire. Persecution extended also to the communities of Babylon, and continued for several years, until the death of the tyrant. Bar-Jethro's son, Hananiah, prince of the captivity, and 2 teachers of the law, Anamar Marjeka and Yeshua Bar-Bihad, were thrown into prison, and afterwards executed 469-70. They were the first martyrs of Babylonian soil, and it is assumed that each back then the prince of the captivity fled to Judaism. A few years later, the persecution was carried to a still wider extent. The schools were closed, the seminaries for the purpose of teaching forbidden, the jurisdiction of the Jews abolished, and their children held to embrace the religion of the Magi. The city of Saracens still closed. This system of persecution puts one in mind of Hadrian, invented a new means of torture, which had not occurred to that emperor, which was to remove the young from under the influence of Judaism, and to bring them by force into Persian religion. For this reason he was branded by the Jews of after times, like Hadrian, with the name of the wicked Jewish Messiah. The immediate result of this persecution was the emigration of Jewish colonists, who settled in the south as far as Arabia, and in the east as far as India. This emigration of the Jews to India is expressly marked as occurring about the time of Phileas' persecution. An otherwise unknown person, Joseph Ram by name, who was recognizable as a Babylonian by reason of his title, arrived in the year 4250 at the Jewish era 490, with many Jewish sisterhood families, on the route of David versus Malabar. He must accordingly have started on his journey before this stage, and therefore had emigrated under Phileas. Ere he arrived, the Brahmin king of Pioneer welcomed the Jewish strangers, offered them a home in his dominions, and suffered them to live according to their familiar laws. Princes were known. The first of these chiefs was their leader Joseph Ram, upon whom the Indian monarch conferred special rights and claims and honors, to be inherited by his descendants. He was allowed, like the Indian princes, to ride upon an elephant, to be preceded by a herald, who was accompanied by a musical escort of drums and cymbals, and to sit upon a carpet. Joseph Ram was said to have been followed by a line of 7 Jew successors, who ruled over the Indo-Jewish colonists, until quarrels broke out among them. When Hill was destroyed, many of the Jews lost their lives, and the remainder settled in Nagari, a leading from Cogent, which acquired from this town the name of Jewstown. It was supported by early Jewish leaders who were related to Jews answer for every word of it, or the that author is the entire Jewish nation. Possessing its own form of thought and expression, sort of literary Herculean and campaign, unmarred by that artificial continuous transfers a gigantic picture on a reduced scale to a narrow canvas. Small wonder, then, that is this world is the sun, the great and the small, the great and the ridiculous, the ultra and the absolute, the Jewish and the Polish, be discovered side by side. Which escaped from a teacher, and were caught up and embodied in the Talmud by overzealous disciples, unknown to read a single word yet all night of years. They are amply counterbalanced, however, by the doctrines of Gemara 634 and love of all men without distinction of race or religion, which are also preserved in the Talmud. As a counterpoise to the wild superstitions, there are severe warnings against superstitious feeding practices, to which a separate section is devoted. The Babylonian Talmud is especially distinguished from the Jerusalem or Palestine Talmud by the flights of thought, the penetration of mind, the flashes of genius, which rise and vanish again. An infinite fullness of thought and of thought-exciting material is laid up in the mind of the Talmud, not, however, in the shape of a finished scene which one can grasp at a glance, but in all its original freshness of conception. The Talmud introduces us into the laboratory of thought, and in it may be traced the progress of ideas, from their earliest agitation to the beginning part of incomprehensibility to which at times they attain. It was for this reason that the Babylonian Talmud became fundamental to the its widespread, its very soul. It was a family history for succeeding generations, in which they felt themselves at home, in which they lived and moved, the thinker in the world of thought, the dreamer in glorious ideal pictures. For more than 1,000 years, the external world, nature and mankind, powers and events, were for the Jewish nation insignificant, not essential, a mere phantom. Only truly knowing one Talmud. Nature in their eyes as they received the stamp of morality and from nothing appears before seen and sanctioned by the Talmud. Even the knowledge of the Bible, the more ancient history of their race, the words of fire and bond of their prophets, the soul outpourings of their psalms, were only known to them through and in the light of the Talmud, but as Judaism, ever since its foundation, has based itself on the experiences of actual life, so that the Talmud is obliged 635 to concern itself with concrete phenomena, with the things of this world. So it follows that there could not arise that same life, that disdain of the world, that hatred of realities, which in the Middle Ages gave birth to and sanctified the life of the monks and nuns. It is true that the intellectual tendencies of the Babylonian Talmud, aided by climatic influences and other factors, degenerated not infrequently into Sicilian scholasticism. For no historical phenomenon exists without an unfavorable side. But even this abuse contributed to bring about clear conceptions, and rendered possible the movement towards science. The Babylonian moral created a dialectic, gross reasoning, Jewish spirit, in the darkest days preserved the dispersed nation from study and secret. It was the people which protected them from corruption, the ever-moving force which overcame ignorance and the blunt of the mental powers, the eternal spring which kept the mind ever bright and backward. In a word, the Talmud was the educator of the Jewish nation. And this education can by no means have been a bad one, since, in spite of the disturbing influence of isolation, degradation, and systematic demoralization, it must have reached a degree of morality which even their enemies cannot deny them. The Talmud preserved and promoted the religious and moral life of Judaism. It held out the banners of the community scattered in all corners of the earth, and protected them from schism and sectarian divisions. It acquainted subsequent generations with the history of their nation. Finally, it produced a deep intellectual life which preserved the enslaved and proscribed from stagnation, and which led for them the torch of science. How the Talmud made its way into the consciousness of the Jewish people, how it became known and accessible to distant communities, and how it became a stumbling block to the enemies of Judaism, will be told in subsequent pages.
Don't you want to get it? 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 Don't you want to get that? Come on, get it. Too easy. That'll be too easy. Damn right. Oh, it's Passport to Hell. Can I have your autograph? She's so fine. She's so very fine. I want to follow her. Oh man, I'm getting no action there. Oh well. This is an incredible book. Okay. I gotta leave team because I'm going to volume 3.
It's The History of the Jews by Heinrich Gretz. And with my narrow-minded self, well, I mean, Josephus will keep you preoccupied. He really wrote a lot. But I still have not read Philo, and I haven't been through the whole Schottenstein Talmud. I'm working on it. Listen to probably an audio more than 30 or 40 hours of it. This is volume 2. Let's go back. Actually, let me show what I'm doing. Where was I? Okay, no. So I get the book here, select this text, and then scroll down to there it is. You see it pop up on the screen? Alright, so.
History of the Jews by Professor H. Rees. DOL. III. From the Local The capture of St. Jean by Muhammad 1291 CE. Publishers Logo Philadelphia, the Jewish Publication Society of America. By the Jewish Publication Society of America.
1894.
And the Jews in Dispersion. Presented for which Muhammad and Mossack, the reformer, hold that the Jews are such a rival of the schools who were town committed to writing forums of Chaucer's 17th Christianization of Jews under the Jews and first engine of Tiberius TTACK on Tyree and Verduval 1,500-620. Growth of the Jews in Europe, community of Constantinople and Italy, Theodore Sidor, Cyril, Gregory I. Jews of France, and Christians 24-5-10-640 CE, Chapter 3rd, the Jews of the Arabian Peninsula. Happy condition of the Jews in the Tygar, Jewish Arabic tribes, the new Midir, the Banu Qurayza, and the new Bashtil, the new Kinuka, Jews of Yemen, air power, and the conversion of Arabian tribes to Judaism, New Qariba. The first Jewish Midir king Oradu now is a Mullah ibn Adid Ahmed, is indebtedness to Judaism. Ahmed's early friendliness to the Jews and subsequent breach with them, his attacks on the Jewish tribes, he were of the false position of the Jews under the Caliphs 53-500-662 CE, Chapter 4. The Age of the Demon. The conquest of Islam, Mars, intolerance, ambition of the Jews in Babylon, Nostana, the princes of the captivity of the demon, and the revenues of the prince, and the organizations, communication, element of the deal, and the Jews, Muslims, Muslims, Jews, and Arab literature, history, and values, continue of the great culture. Josie's antecedent then from point to Brian and users and lyric decision to the study of the Talmud and false messiahs lands. The Syrian Jews in the Kremlin and the land of the Chazos, false messiah, Obadiah, Abu Isa, 86-640-760. CE. Chapter 5 Rise of Heresy and its results. Anna Ben David, the founder of Heresy's life, writings, and influence hostility to the Talmud and nations await reverence of Anna the Extra becomes elected doctrine of Judaism by Chazos and Ewan and Isaac Sinjar, who wants Jewish successors are Navani and the empire of the Franks, the Jews and Commerce, Jewish Congress, and power from the Master Credit, the Jews in Northern Palace, and the Jews who study of philosophy or Haran, Jesus, and Anthropomorphosis, Jacob, Yeshua, Chroma, Theater, Exodus, the version 127-761-840 CE, Chapter 6, the favorable condition of the Jews in the Frankish dominions, and the decay of the extra market in the east. The Jews of the north were Devon, Empress Judith, and her veneration for Judaism over. Bishop of Ryan's version of Bishop Odo Mola's effort against the Jews, Carlos of all the revolts in these years, and to Louis III against the Jews in Italy, also of Burgundy, Oselius, the philosopher, decline of the extra market teaching him acquire additional influence, keep their book of Amron, or Zine, and scientific activity of the Jews, decay of Paris, and ascension that embedded at 160 BA 14-920 CE, Chapter 7.
It's like 9. I'm going to go check and see if my daughter is up.
The founder of religious philosophy, translation of the Bible into Arabic, Isaiah opposes Paris and Pete Kelly, Solomon, and Nelson, Isaiah understood that where Isaiah retires from Torah, and ruler activity, extension of the extra market deal, and other Kelly drivers using certain useful at Cordova, and then Jimmy Haskett, his services to Judaism, and Ben Saracasta, and the Queen of the Chazos, 187-928-907 CE, Chapter 8, the rise of Jewish and culture, and the decay of the Gaelic. The Kiyom Shariah and his son Hashariah's historical letter to Jewish congregations in English culture and Anthony Jewish disciples of Nahum and the Institute of Chayon Test between Shannon and Luke, the Bible, Al-Kabul, the Jews of France, and the Babylonian and the Antioch Jews of Turkey, Persian, and his ordinances, he Edward, Henry II, Tower Pack, and the Jewish communities of Northern Africa and Middle, the son of Chushiel, and he was a living chapter in Jerusalem, Talmud of Kiyom's character and importance of New Law and 231. 907-10 CE, Chapter 9, General and Joseph and his tragic fate. Other than generally French and German communities, LFASSI and works of Rashi Jewish scholars in Sami Alphonsus 265 by 1027-1070 CE. Chapter 10 The First Crusade. The position of the Jews in Germany previous to the Crusade. Key community of Spear and Henry IV. Key martyrs of Trees and Spear, America, Lion, and the martyrs of Mainz rule persecution that alone bring of the Jews in Bohemia, Italy, death of the Jews of Jerusalem. For Henry VI destroys the Jews, kind of converts to Judaism. Of Alcassia and Rashi 297-1096-1105 CE. Chapter 9. Zenith of the Spanish Jewish culture. Jacob 11. The Jews under the honor of Joseph ibn Sacco. Joseph ibn Sacco ibn Negashi, Ibn Jack, Ibn Bas, Ibn Sacco, and Ibn Ezra passing Jacob 11 his poems and philosophy, Khazar incidents of his life, Prince Samuel, Al-Mansur, Ibn 11's pilgrimage to Jerusalem is
All right, so the ladies in the house. Go back to our lives. Oatmeal. See, I'm playing your this is your account. Trying to get better. Back to some more. get right over there. Want to play it? Find your way around. Put your mouse over here to control it. Wow, that Eric Alpha, he's terrible. He's a squad dropper. Means he's a cheater. A rank, level 7, rank 4 Arc Torrent will destroy any. Yeah, he should go to jail. Because what he does is he takes all the weapons off his robots in his hangar, and then that lowers his squad power. Because when he has a weapon is that strong, he shouldn't be matched with us because our weapons are not as strong, right? Yeah, you see that? He's got rank 4 stars. Look at Daddy, 3 stars. I can't withstand. And this weapon here is.
Oh man, he got 2 stars.
Yeah, me and Wretched Lump, we know each other, and we've been playing for about the same time. But I practiced more, I think, than Wretched Lump did, because I played every day. Yeah. He needs to go to jail. That's right. But those kind of people, you see, because they can't win by playing fair, they cheat. Right? And that's bad. We don't want to do that. We want to win by skill. Right? You should always win fair and square. Yeah, I don't like that kill shot either, because it crashes onto me. Explosion, there's also a lot of implosion.
I love you.
That's nice. It's always good to love. Always be happy, love. Right. And look at us. I got 3.
He got 4.
He got 4. Yeah, so it's imbalanced. You see the mechs are.
He's a bad guy. He's a prisoner.
Yeah, they're equal rank. The mechs are equal rank, but my Ares is not even level 7. He's at the top of the 3rd rank.
Level is 6.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. The checkerboard. The leaderboard.
Yay! There's so many people. So many people to join.
Ethan.
Ethan. I want to call.
You remember Nathan? I haven't seen Nathan in a while. Yeah, Ethan was good about you. He asked about you. Some days when you weren't here. This is in Japanese. It says Nisho Nisho. Nisho Nisho. That's how you read it. That little first character is Nisho. So supernaturals, my friend. That's very deep. Anya said, how are you? ¿Cómo está?
People say hola.
Yeah, hello, hola. Right? Hola is Spanish, right? We speak the English language, so we say hello, right? In Spain, or Spanish people all around the world say hola. And then they say, how are you? Hi, how are you? ¿Cómo está? And then I said, I'm good. Bien. Bien means good. In French, we say bon.
I said hola.
Hola, right.
People say the hola.
Right. She said hello to you. And you said hello back. And then she said, ¿Cómo está? Which is, how are you? In your mommy's language, they say, ¿Cómo está acá? Epion. Yeah, Epion wants us to put in that invite link. It's hard to click it. Good job. Send you an invite link, and then that helps Epion if we can go there. But I don't know how to. It's too hard to copy it.
I can.
You want to try? You can't. It doesn't seem like it's selected to copy it, right? But what you have to do is this. Let me show you. Open up a browser and you have to get it out of the way. Okay, right? L-I-A-K. Oops. L-I-A-K. Dot. You see how I'm copying this? SDLGO. SDLGO. Slash.
There.
F. Q. D. Q. Friend invited you to play. So look, it opened, play and play, and now it's running. And yeah, so hopefully,
One star and a half star.
right, that's the ratings of the game.
I like it.
13.7K. People said it's about 4.5. Almost 5 stars. Oh yeah? Who was it? Which one? The bad people? That's good. I want to eat some more oatmeal. This is. Oh, you want to sleep for a while? Okay, I'm gonna go have a little morning nap. Yeah, we can cuddle and go back to sleep. Okay, I will. Alright, Dad's got to end this screen. Come on. I know when you get a big belly full of oatmeal, you just want to... And this is the thing, I'm always like, if the baby's restless in the morning,